Welcome to the GCW Plants Podcast, episode 80 live review show. How are you doing tonight on this Tuesday evening, John?
Dude, I'm doing fantastic. This is going to be fun tonight. This is number 2 now of 2024. I think we've done that's just straight up live. So I'm ready to roll, man. I feel good.
Yes, I'm excited. Trying out this live thing again. It's went pretty good the first time. Got some people coming in here chatting, and hopefully we'll get some more people in here again later on and join in on the conversation. As tonight we are covering GCW's No Compadre and GCW's 56 Birdz from last weekend out in Ohio. And oh shit, where was the No Compadre? I forgot. Talia Hall, yeah, Chicago. Shit.
Listen to you.
Yeah.
Talia Hall's one of your favorites, isn't it?
Yeah, I know. I totally forgot about it. It's been 2 weeks and all this shit's it's been it seems like 2024 every day some crazy shit is happening where you forget about what happened the day before or even like hours before something I read. Like that's how it feels like. So yeah, I totally forgot about Talia Hall.
Got wrestlers and aliens and all kinds of shit going on around here.
Oh,
I
yeah,
won't
that
even
was
get
the last
started.
podcast. That was the last podcast.
Yeah, it was crazy here. Geez, I don't even know where to start. Oh, you know what? I got a great kicker. How about what's your feelings on Janela Zone?
Oh, dude, they've been fun. That whole Ricky Berwick thing that last week was crazy. I watched this as like it happened on the first Janela Zone. I'm kind of glad he did it because I know he tweeted out like near the end of last year. He was like, "Oh, what about the Janela comeback?" I was like, "That would be so awesome if they brought back the Janela Zone." And they have been fun, entertaining, wild at times. I've had to like hop in and out but because Instagram doesn't let you like if you close like the app, it lets you like it shuts you all the way out. So I gotta get used to the Instagram app. I've kind of missed a lot of it, but what I have seen has been crazy. Nasty Leroy out there dancing.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, the Ricky Berwick thing was crazy, and I'm so glad he did it because I told my wife like that's the old school Joey Janela. That's the Cardona in him. Here's Santana Jackson. Here's someone who's viral. How can I go viral with this person? And I'm so glad to see this version of Joey coming back. And yeah, did you see like all the video stuff too of that whole incident or no?
Not okay. So here's what I did see. I saw the entire thing with Ricky. I'm happy and unhappy that I got to see it. I don't know if I'm gonna get all those hours of time back. No, honestly, it was really, really fun. They work well together. You know, they know that there's a line there and they work it really closely between the both of them. You can see neither of them's really getting mad. It's really well done. And then you were asking about videos. Following that, then I saw the video where he was at the venue, he got him kicked out, and then there was another spot where he fucking hit him and something like that's what I did see in regards to that. And then the Nasty Leroy thing, I think I've jumped into 2 different Janela zones with Nasty Leroy where I think he's just trying to impress the ladies. So he's Mr. Lova now.
That was pretty much the start of the Janela zones, if I remember correctly. I wasn't usually there for that stuff, but I was there for like when it got into wrestling talk and like conspiracy theories and just crazy shit that Janela was always having fans do. It was fun. But yeah, I am glad to see that back. That's actually been a highlight of my 2024. I know he said he was thinking about going live today, but he went live yesterday. I was actually watching one yesterday too, and like he said he was going to go live today too. He's like going to make it a daily thing. But we have our podcast to do. I was going to ask you, I'm like, hey, you want to miss that one too? But I mean, no, we ain't going to let Janela Zone dictate our schedule. We're going to stay on schedule. We got some catching up to do anyway.
I like an evening with Janela. I think that should be done. And then my idea is he needs to set up his camera somewhere where he can just sit down, drink, and talk to you. And I think that's what he should do. And he would make hella, he'd do so well. I didn't want to get into all this like money and stuff. No, but I mean, he would get good traffic just sitting there bullshitting about wrestling and talking. And as the drinks sink in, the gossip gets a little better. It'd be kind of fun.
Oh yeah, that's the fun part is when like the divulges into like all the craziness that Joey usually ends up having the fans do just for our entertainment. They've been fun and entertaining. I'm so glad they're back.
Oh my gosh! All right, so you were talking about No Compadre. What a freaking show this was. What do I have here? 11 matches. That's 2 more than average. And I think that's towards the top of what GCW's done. I mean, maybe they've had a 12er here or there, but
It was
not
a
where one is legitimately a good match.
3 hours and 53 minutes.
You know,
That is long. Like that is Brett. Like that Brett. I don't know what was going on there because that is even too long for Brett. On his podcast he says he likes shorter shows, like 2.5 hours, like
right,
perfect to get
right,
him in and out. 3, you start to lose him. 4, it's like good luck, but he does get
right.
there when the time's needed. But I'm glad this show did because you said it had a lot of 11 matches and a lot of talent on there, and it was a good show. Definitely a top notch show.
So I mean, yeah, this 11 matches, it let me know ahead of time. It let me know ahead of time, geez Louise, that we were in for something, lengthy. So this is one of those ones where it's just like a movie where it's going to be lengthy. You just get yourself all set up, get your popcorn, go pee, do your thing, and just settle in because you're going to watch something and it's going to really, it's going to get into you. And I kind of enjoy those. I know some people are anti long shows. I know we talked about that with well, it was the Circle Six show that we were talking about where that ran almost 6 hours, and I'm just like, oof. So yeah, that's no good. But I mean, giving us 3 to 4 hours of nonstop packed just violence was fantastic. So yeah, I see a lot of people saying 2.5, 3 hours. I get it, but sometimes it just has to be an extravaganza, and every now and then it's okay to pull it out.
Yeah, in Talia Hall, like I said, I always consider that mini Hammerstein. So
Yeah.
I'm all for a 4 hour show in that venue. And it was fun. It was Talia Hall was good. Chicago delivered. The whole show was great. Yeah, should we go into first match already? Or anything else
Let's
should we
rock
talk
and
about?
roll, brother.
Rock and roll. All
Well,
right.
we'll get there at some point because you and I were going to talk just a little bit about Blake Christian, but I was going to kind of just wait till the Blake Christian match.
Okay. Yeah. There's a lot to
Unless
talk
you're
about
unless
there.
you're ready to go into it now, but I
Nah, I
have to
think we
get
should
my
wait till it.
yeah, I have to get
We'll
comfy.
we'll get in the groove of things first before we go crazy on the Blake Christian stuff.
All right.
First match of No Compadre was a tag title match as Violence is Forever defended the belt against Matt. Oh my God, what was the name? I totally forgot their new name. Banging Matthews.
Banging
There we go. Yeah,
Matthews.
like,
Yeah.
I was like, I saw that name. I'm like, hey, is that the canceled name? Because it still had the word bang in there. This was one match I was looking forward to because I know they had just a lot of matches outside of GCW together, and I've seen them in wrestle in promotions, and I saw the chemistry right away. Once again, Bang and Matthews delivered. They just are always, no matter who their tag partner or who the tag opponents are, they have delivered. And the team showed great chemistry with each other, but I also love the differences of styles. And I think they meshed well perfectly of when Bang and Matthews needed to high fly and run away from Violence is Forever. They did, but once Violence is Forever controlled the ground game, you saw how they struggled to keep them on the ground. And I just love the tag play that happened in this tag match.
Okay, so a couple things stuck out for me. Number one, this was a lengthy match, so it made Bang and Matthews look great in their home territory. Without trying to sound too, this really was the best match I've seen from them. I flat out, to me, this was the best performing match from them. Also, I'm trying to see here. It looks like Violence is Forever is going a little more the face side. So I'm hoping they show more personality and smiles if they're going to be faces because I want to like them. But if they're going to be heels, I want them deep down heels. So I need to know which one because they kind of appeared somewhat likable over this weekend once we get into 56 and whatnot.
Okay, I was about to say, what made you think of that?
Oh,
But I get what you're
yeah,
saying.
they were brutal in this one. The 56 is a
Yeah.
little lighter. So
Okay. Yeah, I agree. I think that when you think they're lighter, I think that's when they're just having fun, and that's when they kind of are playing as
yes,
faces. But I agree with you when they're like the just dastardly heels, like how they came out and just disrupted everything and punished everybody. I love them in that version, and that's definitely what happened in this match. And they did defend the tag titles successfully, and it was a good match. I said I totally forgot the spot about them, the Bang and Matthews being from wrestling out of Chicago all the time, and yeah, they definitely delivered in their hometown.
and our winners were Violence is Forever.
Yes.
Bada boom.
It was a good match. I enjoyed it, especially, and I was actually kind of surprised. I wrote like the tag opener was a surprise, like especially being the tag team titles, and that's kind of we see now a little starting to become a trend too. They kind of like to open the
Mm-hmm.
shows and start off with that, and I'm interested. I like the variations and they're changing up the match, match placements of where they usually go.
Yeah, the only consistency now is the level of excitement. That seems to be the one thing. You're always going to get an exciting match out of that first match at GCW. Does not matter what the concept or layout is, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. Usually they were in the scrambles, and now they're just getting nice tag team burners going on. And it's been fun seeing those opening up the shows. All right, next match is SG Bussy. This team of Manders, Alley Catch, and Effie going against the team of Team Broski. Oh, with Broski Jimmy. I cannot say that with a straight face no more.
Yeah.
We gotta talk about that Briscoe 101 too. Broski 101 that they posted today. I was kind of interested where Cardona was leading with that one. We will get to that during this match probably. But Team Broski is Broski Jimmy, Steph DeLander, and a very cool surprise, Broski Cabana, Colt Cabana, re-showing back up in GCW in Chicago. I love it. I love to see Colt Cabana, especially in the GCW setting where he has fun with the hardcore fans. I think that's where he really kind of gets over more with the hardcore fans and more with the casuals as of late.
Yeah, he's just a lot of fun. I like watching him at Juggalo Championship Wrestling over here, ROH, AEW. He does a lot of things differently, and that's the one thing I really noticed about him. So even some of his moves are just so unique, and he's willing to just do that old fashioned where you just fall down on someone. You know, that was an original move. I forget how long ago it was and what it was called, but yeah. What I had here was just this match was mostly comedy, definitely a lot of fun, and I just hopped right into it because I was going to be brief, but we went right here into our winners were SG Bussy, and we went right into Effie calling out Mance after his match. So I basically jumped in my notes there and went straight to that. So my memory is so. I'm not gonna fucking lie. How much do you remember about the challenge on this portion? Do you? Is this the one where they fought into the upper area?
Yeah, and they actually wait, hold on, was it? I've actually got to go back.
See, that's why it's starting to meld in my head.
Yeah, I'm actually on it and I'm rewinding it. No, it doesn't look like it actually is. No, it's not.
Is this
it's
just
not
a promo?
Yeah, that time, yeah, that's when he called. I was like, I'm tired of your shit, tired of running. Like, face me face to face like a man. Yeah.
I feel so unprepared. That's so funny.
No, I'm the same way. Like, it's been 2 weeks. Like, I was like, I know that promo's up, but I can't remember what part it was either. Like, it wasn't in my notes here. That's why we brought it up. I'm like, oh shit, did I just like forget to write it in?
Also, you notice all my facial hair is pretty much gone.
Clean shaven. Got to look good for the live audience.
Yeah. My the guy who was cutting me down and just trying to get everything all cleaned up, he's my wife's hairdresser, and he's like, I'm not a barber, but I can do this for you. And then we started talking about wrestling and, you know, GCW, and it was kind of funny. We had a good time. And he's like, I didn't know there was a company that had so many gay athletes and performers. I'm like, oh yeah. And yeah, we talked about Big Gay Brunch a little bit and whatnot. And of course he said, oh, of course it'd be brunch. And we had a really good talk about the whole thing. And I showed him some pictures, and he liked Effie's, like, the front of his trunk said daddy. He thought that was absolutely fantastic. He was laughing his ass off at that. So yeah, that's been the excitement for me recently.
And that's why I think those shows too, they're killer. Like, that was being there at the Collective for my first time ever being one of those live. Like, since I was in that area, like, the crowd was this packed, and like you just saw like everybody like knew each other or acted like they knew each other, and that was cool. Like, to see the community build around. Like, that's what they like. They've done many promos at those shows talking about that, and that's so cool seeing like a wrestling fan like not knowing, hey, there's a wrestling out there for them, and like that's so cool. Like, that you're able to say that and get new fans on it. And that's, I do that with GCW all the time. They're asking, oh, there's a old ECW out there. Someone just extreme. Like, oh yeah, they're kind of crazier nowadays too. And it's just cool bringing new fans to the company like that.
All right. So let's see here. Did I announce the winner? Yeah, I announced the winner on that one. Man, I got to get back into this, my friend.
All right. Well, I will lead us into our third match of the evening. One I was very much looking forward to and so glad to see him get some shine that weekend. Myron Reed versus Joey Janela. Awesome. that was like, I think, the perfect showcase match for Myron too. Big step up there. I think with some of the other competitions he's wrestled in GCW, he's wrestled like the scrambles and stuff. But I think one-on-one, this was the perfect match for him to showcase his talents. And Joey made him look like $1,000,000 that Myron Reed is. And I want to see Myron Reed so much more in GCW. I think Prazak said it on commentary. I saw a lot online of people saying it. Myron Reed needs to stay. And this match was typical Joey, but awesome Myron Reed showing out. And actually, he showed like a lot more selling and stuff too that I kind of haven't really seen too much of him because I just always focus on his offense. But when Joey was on offense and seeing Myron Reed sell for Joey, he made it look good, made Joey look good. And Myron, I think, is one that needs to stay in GCW.
Again, Myron, deceptively strong. And every time I look at him, he's always in the gym. And I wonder why. Gee, how is he so damn strong? Extremely athletic. There was a cutter he performed onto Janela, like jumped from the ring onto the floor. And I was like, audibly, when I was watching this, I was like, oh. Like every now and then, audibly, you'll say something out loud like, fuck. Yeah.
The first time I saw them do that was him and Jordan Oliver in MLW, I believe it was. They as Injustice, they did that like to the like they started off on opposite sides, like kind of how Kenny Omega and Ibushi does like the crisscross, and then they jump out to the outside. It was kind of like the Golden Triangle, but like they did it similar, but they did the cutters to the opposite sides, and they just like their timing was perfect. And yeah, that was so cool seeing the camera angle too that they got on this one was real good.
Well, I'm just going to say that Joey Janela was the winner here, but it did not matter. Both of these guys, 16 minutes of solid fucking wrestling. Both came away looking stronger too.
Yeah, like I said, I think Myron, that was his showcase match, and I'm glad to see all the reception he got. And I'm excited too, because like I'm pretty sure I thought I saw like just a few months ago when he signed to Impact Wrestling. I thought I saw, or maybe it was just like a one-time thing to team up with the Rascals, his team. But yeah, I definitely want to see a lot more Myron Reed Impact, MLW, GCW, all over the place, and it's so cool seeing it.
Yeah, I know he's one of your dudes. Like he's one of the ones you really enjoy watching. So I'm happy when you're happy. Definitely wouldn't kick him out of the ring for doing something stupid. I really do like him a lot. That's that, my friend. Anything else you got to say about this one before we move on?
Nope. I think it was like just a good showcase. Next match. So this one. Actually, no, wait, that skipped. Yeah, no, I did not skip. I skipped in my notes, the wrong order. Next one is a tag match. Bullet Club War Dogs. Alex Coughlin and Gabe Kidd going against Los Macizos, Ciclope, Miedo, Extremo. Gabe Kidd is starting to win me over. Like Coughlin already did real fast when he was in GCW a while ago, but Gabe Kidd's doing some singles matches in New Japan, and showing up in GCW with these tag matches that he's had. It's been awesome, and I want to see a lot more Gabe Kidd and the War Dogs. They have been absolutely tearing it up.
Yeah, like I was saying before in that previous match from the last show, they were dominant like an old school 80s kind of tag team. It was just lovely to watch. Now, I say Coughlin, you're saying Coughlin. Do you know which one it is? I feel like a dumbass.
I'll be honest. I mean, I don't know what his specific ones. I've heard that same thing. Coughlin. I'm saying Coughlin. I could be completely wrong. I don't know.
I'll say Coughlin, and then we'll cover both bases.
One of us will be right. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I was just going to mention him because his strength is in another atmosphere, and that's one of the reasons why I just think he's just fantastic to watch at GCW. I also love Miedo's masks that he wears when he comes out all the time. I want to just keep seeing more of those because that gives a little bit of extra style to him, and it kind of brightens up and colors up his character a little, and I like it a lot.
I think it showcases like their personality. Like that's what I loved about their alien gear. Like it showcased like they're just out there crazy fucks. Like they don't care. And yeah, this was a banger match. Macizos like definitely stepped up. Coughlin and Gabe Kidd though, like you could tell they are New Japan. Like they've been in the gym at New Japan, the dojos for a while, and they just look so solid and such a like. Oh my God, that word slipped in my head. But so like in uniform, their chemistry. There we go. Their chemistry was off the chain too. And this tag, we've talked about the tag division for a while. Now I just add the War Dogs there. Go against Violences Forever. Just the tag division is just so crazy. It's fun seeing all these different tag matches we've been getting as of late.
They come with a professionalism that I really enjoy. That's the best way maybe that I can put it. It's just it's a extra layer of professionalism that sometimes we don't see as much of sometimes. Well, I don't know a better way to put it. But
No, yeah, they're
whatever they do,
serious.
they make it look good. Also, they make everything look really good. You can tell from top to bottom they take themselves seriously. Their look, the way they are in the ring, their promos, everything they do, they look like they put a lot of thought into what they do, and I appreciate that a
And I
lot.
appreciate, yeah, I appreciate how they're getting extreme too with the chairs, the doors. They're willing to get violent. I'm willing to see how violent they're willing to get.
Well, that's the other thing is they both have really good faces on them. I would not want them to see do too much to those faces. I mean, that's the money makers.
Yeah, they got such a good look on them too. Like, yeah, you said they're solid. Like, I don't want to say like it shows like the step above, but like you could just see the experience that they brought to the table from New Japan, and it's so cool to see him. Maciso stepped up and delivered one crazy match. I love how they just had to resort to all the craziness and violence, and that's kind of the story they played out during that match.
Well, I don't know if I had the winner on this one. Our winners here were the Bullet Club War Dogs.
Yes, nice, strong, another strong tag team match. All right, next one. That's the one I was skipping. I wanted to skip ahead to this match because this was the surprise of the night.
Uh-huh.
Oof. One Leo Rush was supposed to go against. Oh my God, who on the top of my head? This one, Gresham. I
John
think it was.
Gresham.
No, yeah, Gresham.
Yes. Yeah.
Cole's supposed to get him the next night. Cole did get him the next night. Instead, filling in for Gresham, we get Nick fucking Wayne back
Yes.
in GCW. I'm glad because I was a little salty seeing him come back to Wrestling Revolver. I think it was or Prestige before he came back to GCW on the Indies. That kind of made me a little bit salty, but I know it's all about placement and time. But it was so nice to see Nick Wayne filling in for this match against Leo Rush. And man, you talk about my favorites, Leo Rush and Nick Wayne. This was a pleasant surprise. I stopped what I was doing. I paid full attention to this match. I popped. It was nice to see. And man, they went longer and harder than I thought they would. I thought it would be kind of like an easy, just say, hey, make the fans happy. We got the cheap pop match, but nope. Nick Wayne and Leo just tore it up. And man, if it wasn't for the main event, this was one of my favorite matches of the night. This was awesome to see.
So Leo back in that heel role, he's so effective. It just everything about it looks good. He looks like he was that instigator in school. You know how you have that guy in school that would talk shit and there was always someone else that would show up and whoop ass for him kind of thing. He
The
just
Bobby Lashley behind him.
yeah, and let's only put the words I only want to just say when it comes to microphone work and only microphone work. I don't want to say anything else, but Enzo Amore's microphone work is close to what Leo Rush can do anytime that he wants to. He's quick, he's spitfire. If something happens in the audience, he can pick it up quickly and do something with it. I mean, I love that. And then you let him just go ahead and just do whatever he wants to in the ring. And I don't know where he's really I don't know where I just can't find a place where I think that he has a ceiling. And I wanted to talk to you a little bit about this. Okay, first of all, the notes I just have he was an effective feel, very physical affair. Nick was filling in for Gresham, just like you said. So the last part here, Leo's looking for full-time employment for the long term with the company right now. And just my personal opinion, I think he's going to have to spend a little more time on the indies showing that he's consistent uh, before he maybe gets someone to reach out again because not too long ago he had an AEW contract and then he backed out of it at the very beginning, and now here he is seeking some type of something, and I don't know what to think there. I'm sure that if the WWE would take a chance, I think it wouldn't be a problem for them to have him for a short amount of time. He would be a beautiful addition right now.
Yeah, I don't know.
Talk to me. Yeah. I like when you think. I want to hear it.
I mean, I obviously I want to see him anywhere. I know what he was I think just recently in Impact, and I like what he was
Mhm.
doing there. Like actually that him showing back up Speedball, and I think there's another Gresham showing back up, and those three made me get back into Impact Wrestling over the last like 6 months to a year. Like hardcore, I was watching like every show every Thursday, all the pay-per-views just for those three. They got me back into it, and I think right now to best get to get the most out of Leo Rush, and probably the place he's going to be able to do the most, I think Impact would be the place to be right now, especially with that X division. Like just have him kind of redefine that X division stuff. I know he was I think he was the champion when he came back, and he didn't really wrestle too much when he was there because I think he got hurt halfway through. That's when he was still going back and forth with Japan. I'd like to see him still in Japan, but with all the changes that's happening in Japan and Okada leaving and everything else, like I don't know, like Japan's kind of a scary place to be for him, and I think he now needs to kind of focus on, as you said, the States. And I wouldn't mind seeing another year, another round around the Indies, because look at the indie crowd now. You got Ali, Cardona. I mean, like, the Cardona nickname, Elias, Ezekiel. I still want to see, or whatever his name is now.
Mhm. Mhm.
Shit, I messed up. Like, I'm so jealous that he's wrestling and Wrestling Revolver before GCW too. It's like I wouldn't mind seeing like people stay on the Indies for this year and just blow up, and because I think there's so much talent or not enough camera time where there's too much talent to kind of fill all that time and give everyone the time that they deserve. I think the best right now for Leo Rush would be to stay on the Indies, as a lot of these wrestlers probably should be.
Yeah, we have a glut of talent on the indies right now. I'm really going to be very interested to see where everyone lands because again, we have a lot of people asking for money straight out of NXT, straight out of other companies. And for me, there's quite a few of these guys that are coming out. I'd like to maybe book them on my show if, immediately after firing because they're still hot, name recognition is there. But after that, they have to show me that they can make it on their own before I'd book them again. So let's just say someone like Ali or Mansoor. Respectfully, he's hitting them while they're hot right now. Brett's got them while they're hot. Good idea. Now let them go out on the indies and see where they lie, and then we'll talk about bringing them back or not. If they put on a fantastic show here, then hey. But yeah, a name value, like Effie said, I've really listened to him a lot more on his on his Twitch streams, and he's right. Sometimes it's not worth paying, top dollar. That's not a good one to say, but it's not worth paying big money sometimes for people who won't bring seats in the door. He used a very big name as an example that once they announced him for a certain place, ticket sales should have sold out, and they did not sell out there. So, um, yeah.
I didn't see. I don't. I want a name now. Text me the name if you don't want to say it. I want to know the name now.
No,
I
no,
didn't
no.
see. I mean, he
Actually,
said it
nobody.
on
There
a
was some.
stream.
Yeah, he said it on his stream, and it was public and everything else. He was
Yeah.
basically saying that, like Nemeth is going to be coming over to LA, and he said tickets should have just sold out immediately, and they didn't. And he said it's funny that there's this cost for this person to come in, and the seats should have just sold out. That the name recognition should have sold those couple hundred seats that were still remaining like nothing. So that was just used as an example. Um, you know, it is what it is if you think about it, and you really
I,
do have to think about it. We have a lot of shuffling. We have AEW very close to the WCW 2000s thing going on right now. I saw your face drop on that one. There,
no.
there's a lot of craziness right now going on. There's a lot going on with AEW that is not. I don't know. I don't know. I just jumped 10 subjects right there. Sorry.
Yeah, I must say I kind of like lost where I was
I did.
thinking. I don't know. I think that if my timeline is correct, I think that's what happened. I thought he did sell out like pretty much as soon as it was announced. Like I pretty much
Yeah.
I'm going back on the timeline scrolling now. I'm going to have to scroll a while because it's on freaking notifications. But I thought it was within time. But I absolutely get what he's saying on some of these other names. I have some other names I think too were the same, like not similar, but kind of falls with what he's saying. You definitely don't want to overpay the talent. But I mean, like, I think this crop of talent that was released is one of the more talented in ring, while also the most creative outside the ring. Where I think this bunch is going to do fun stuff on their indie, like on this indie run. Like I can't, like the last round of WWE layoffs, I can't even remember, but like there was no names I was excited to see on the indies, or like maybe one or two that come back to it, but as a whole bunch, like we can name that, yeah, 6 off the top that GCW is bringing in, and that's 6 fun names that it's going to be fun. And I think wrestlers like them, Leo Rush, like maybe they could be on TV, but I don't think they would be getting a lot of TV time and like booking wise, like pushes and stuff like that. I think their best bet to do the Cardona way, do it on your own terms, create your character, go where you want to go, charge what you want to charge, be your own boss, and like try to recreate yourself like Cardona. And I think this group definitely will be able to. And I want to see all these names. It's really fun seeing a Nick Nemeth and hopefully Elijah, and seeing the Top Dollars and Ali at this show. It's been fun to see. I'm actually really excited to see Collective Weekend, what other big names they bring out that weekend.
Dude, I'm totally with you there. This is going to be so much fun. And every year as GCW gets a little bigger and a little bigger, the possibilities of who may show up and what surprises we have also get bigger and bigger. So right in the middle of this show, we have a little disruption here. We have a Cardona satellite feed that comes through. Matt gets on the microphone there and he says that he's going to challenge Nick Nemeth to a match in LA at the Coldest Winter on February 3rd. And it's kind of funny that we jumped to this, but we jumped to it when we did, so I figured I'll just go ahead and get right there. But I'll go ahead and give you my booking on this one just for fun, and I want to hear what some other people may have to say. I think it would be good for Nick Nemeth to come in as a heel. He doesn't want to be here, but this is where he's at. Cranky, mean asshole. Shit's all over GCW. It's a paycheck. Hey, I have to be at the top independent if I want my money. Blah, blah, blah. And just as a disrespectful asshole. And flip it to where Cardona is the face of GCW and has to come in, expel this person from our company. And he's like, yeah, you can shit on my little brother. I mean, he's like, yeah, I can shit on my little brother, but you can't shit on my little brother, kind of thing. I find that very different and very unique, but very possible. So who knows?
I wouldn't mind kind of seeing like a little finger poke of doom kind of thing happening where,
oh shit,
all this is a ruse and Nick Nemeth. So I think there's gonna be some shit in LA. I on accident, because I'm a dumbass, I didn't realize like this show is called The Coldest Winter 2. Like I tweeted out the other day, like when they announced, I think this Nemeth Cardona match, like this card, I wrote like this card is starting to feel like how the Coldest Winter did when they righted with Joey Janela turning on Sean Waltman. And then like 2 days later, like I realized, oh shit, this card is named Coldest Winter too. So I don't know. I just think the finger poke of doom caused that kind of chaos that I think might be happening in LA and spill over into Arizona. This is around the time they're going to start picking stuff up for Collective. And I don't know, like that's just like if Nemeth joins Cardona, I could see them kind of, coming in to ruin the indies kind of thing. But I think because Nemeth is playing good guy and everywhere else, I think he's going to just stick to that. And I just think that I kind of agree with that. I think that'd be the most boring kind of, unless he gets like extreme. If he busts out like some doors and like totally just annihilates and goes GCW style without the tubes, obviously, because UCC. But if he just goes in and causes mayhem and chaos, I wouldn't mind seeing a face Nick Nemeth. But I think he's just going to come in just what he's been doing, and that's not going to be fun. I don't think. To me, that's not going to be fun, at least.
I'm hoping this is more about having a real wrestling match. They're both good friends. I think that between the both of them, they could put together something easy. Matt Cardona is notoriously easy to work with in ring, so you never know. I don't know how crazy it could get, but this is kind of another question. Is Brett afraid of booking in LA to where the fans might get so mad they throw shit? Because LA gets a little wilder than basically all the other venues.
I don't think he minds it like once every other year. Like, I think what's about to come up, Coldest Winter. Like, I don't know, just the timing. Like, it would have been 2 years ago, I think that was when.
Yeah. Yeah.
Joey turned on Sean at the end of that show, and that gal ran out the back because there was a whole bunch of shit being thrown over my head. I'm like, all right, we're good. I don't need to get no bottle. I gotta come back tomorrow for 2 more shows. So,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Like, I think he enjoys the chaos. He doesn't mind it as long as it's not overdone. I think he does get to a point like it's overdone. Then what's the point of even doing it? Because now it's like
Right.
everything else that's overdone wrestling. But I could see him on purpose, kind of trying to push that needle to cause that chaos.
Hmm. I just
Real,
wanted to ask because the fans are so crazy there. I just had to ask.
I that's what I'm kind of hoping because my family's going to be at the LA show. Like, hey, I don't mind a riot in Arizona. Like, I got the next day off of work and it's going to be just me there. Like, let's riot then. Don't riot in LA, please. But I don't know. I have a feeling something big's going to be happening in LA, and I don't know. I'm excited. I'm really excited for it. This is one of the most excited cards I've like been looking forward to go to in person in a while. I think maybe since Vikingo, and that was just to see Vikingo that night. I just really thought it was cool. Cardona sending the video. Just he didn't have to do that, but to kind of further this along, this is probably the promo he wanted to cut anyway at the end. So it doesn't matter whether he was there in person or not. But I just think it was cool of him to do that for the GCW fans. And just that whole card just had, well, that whole weekend, everybody suffered from so many cancellations and had to rebook and stuff.
Right.
But I think up until this point, the way Brett handled it and treated it, I think, and that's another reason I think it went 4 hours. He wanted to give these fans, hey, like, we know you're not going to get what you wanted, but
Correct.
I'm calling in big guns. I'm calling in a Nick Wayne. I'm calling in a Colt Cabana. I'm calling in these names to give you fans a show to make up for this shitty weather and all the cancellations. And here you fucking go. And I think that was so cool. And this show was absolutely delivering even after all these cancellations. Yeah. Hey,
Yeah.
what's up?
So funny thing, I was about 90 to 90. I was down to just getting the final editing and the music in. And
Yeah.
so many cancellations had come through the pipeline that I found out about that I'm like, I can't possibly put this out. It would be so wrong. It wouldn't even be an advertisement. It would just be fantasy. So
Yeah, I get it. I got it that night too. I kind of felt bad. Like, hopefully you didn't work on this too long because every time, like, yeah, you probably finished a match, it got canceled, and another match was announced, and it was just way too hard. I kind of agree with you. That was a good time just to call it a night on that one.
so here's a crazy little story that came from Effie on his again, this is all public stuff, so it's not like I'm leaking anything crazy. He was supposed to do some stuff with SGC over at MLW. And for whatever reason, it didn't go the way that FE wanted it to go when it comes to contractual, whatever. Um, and so the replacement was Microman. And so he didn't like that that was considered kind of a slap in the face, a backhanded slap, but still nonetheless. And that was a story he was telling today, which I thought was fascinating.
I would love to find out, like, especially from Manser.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need to know this shit. This is like just some shit I would like to know. After all that MLW stuff and the
Uh-huh.
problems with this contract and the Freeman's Warner stuff, and this is the idiot in me. I'm not saying I don't know anything about the business, but
Right.
and then for him to go back was odd and interesting. Not just him, others going back and doing work there. But then we're seeing all these new faces that weren't there and working for them. So and I don't know if like I think last I heard was Court Bauer. Like, and I don't know if he's like still the one and like what's changed or whatnot. Like, I just be interested what's changed to make you go back to a company like that when you kind of shitted on it. And I know it's different. I think it's different when it's like CM Punk and stuff like that because it goes from like you're talking about millions of dollars there, like
Yep.
big contractual differences. And I just don't know on the indie scene like how much that made a difference. I would just like him to spill the tea on that one, or I would like to find out the tea on that one.
I also saw Jennifer Smith said, "Hey
Yes,
guys," so I figured I'd just say
that's all I
hello
waited
real
earlier.
quick.
Yeah, I was like, hey, what's up?
We were totally engrossed in our talk here, so that happens every now and then. Yeah, so I mean, he was in the mood of just answering questions and talking to people on Twitch and telling his story. And again, I recommend going over there for Monday Night Raw because he does that during Monday Night Raw, which
I
is
used to
really
hop
fun.
in because he was watching a lot of cool indies there, and he still does. I mean, like, but before I was able to hop in a little bit earlier, but now I ain't got no time.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. He'll go in there and then he'll post a bunch of matches, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, usually he'll get on there and maybe play some old video games. Like I watched him play The Simpsons Hit and Run. I was like, oh hell yeah! He played 1080 today. Just sit
Oh
there and
wow.
listen to him, gossip and talk about, and then play 1080. So not too bad. All right. So what do you think about this next match? This is one of the ones that was, oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I thought I thought there was a lot of positive in this next match. It is a Lucha 6-man match. All right, let me get these competitors right. We got Los Desperados, the team of Ares, Demonic Flamita, and Latigo against. I just now noticed that. Do they just call them this on the GCW show? On on Cage Match, it says defeat. Sorry, here we go. Spoiler alert: defeat the other Lucha team. Is that what they were called on the show? And I missed it.
I guess so. I didn't know. I know.
I
Yeah,
gotta go
Cole was
back
an
and watch.
honorary. Cole was an honorary lucha for the
Oh,
night.
it
I do
is.
know that.
It just popped up. Literally right when I turned my head, it just popped up the
The
other
other
Lucha team. That is fucking
lucha.
hysterical. Okay, I thought Cage Match was getting pissed at all the fans. And no, we were just naming this the other Lucha team. That was good. I missed
Oh,
that. I totally missed that on the commentary. Um,
oh, that's fantastic.
I think I missed
I
it because holy shit, this match. Go ahead.
It was a whirlwind. I put my note was GCW Lucha, the best there is. I mean, no shit, that's the most generic. But what happened was it just hit me like that. I in my notes I put just tell people to watch the match. Like I wish there was more to it. You need to just go watch that match specifically. It's just, I mean, Latigo, Ares, Demonica Flamita, Colradric, Aramis, and Oniel Bendito, which this was Bendito's first match since the match in LA that was so so. And he delivered here. And that's what I was really hoping, because I wonder if that guy after LA was just a little disappointed. And I'm happy he had a chance to run it back.
Yeah, he definitely looked like a different wrestler this night. And so did everyone else. Yeah, I agree with you. Another fucking Lucha classic. That's what I wrote. And Cole stepped up like the Lucha game to match it. And I loved it. Like you could feel like he was kind of feeling himself. He did the Lucha moves, his teammates were cheering for him. I loved it. I loved it for Cole. You can see the fun. You see the fun back in him. And that wasn't there for a
Mhm.
little bit. So it is nice to see the fun back in him, seeing him enjoy wrestling, even if it's like this. And I think he was like a throw-in. I believe he was thrown into this match to fill in for somebody too. But man, it was good. And yeah, Talia Hall Chicago has been treated some Lucha classics from GCW. This was another one. It was it was great.
Yeah, there was
Definitely
about a
go check
two,
it out.
three
You
month
said.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. There was about a 3-month period where Cole was down. He just wasn't feeling hot. You could even see it online all the time. It's like, man, his bounce back's been good though. He's been putting in a lot of wins. His singles matches have been of higher caliber, and he's down probably 15. Last I talked to him, he said 15, and that was a little bit ago. So he's probably down about 20 pounds now, and he looks great, and he looks a touch more serious, and I like that. So
Yeah,
I'm hoping this continues for him.
he does look in better shape too. I noticed that as well, and I just see the happiness. And we'd always say when we see wrestlers happy, it makes a difference in their performance, and that is definitely what we have been seeing in Cole. And yeah, this Lucha, definitely go check it out. Words can't do it justice, as this seems to be happening a little bit more often with the GCW Lucha.
All right,
Uh,
so what you thinking, brother?
I was just gonna go to the next match.
Okay.
You got something?
I was gonna tell you, if anyone's here and they really want to stick around for anything, this is the one where we need to talk, because you and I need to talk about Blake Christian. I think it's going to be fun because I'm more con right now and you're more pro, and I think it'll be fun. I sent you my notes ahead of time, so you pretty much knew where I was going, because I didn't want you to just be like, oh, you know what I mean? Um, yeah. What is that seventh match of the night? I'm so sorry.
No, you're good. So, seventh match of the night is the GCW World Title match. Blake Christian defending it against Tankman.
Yes.
All right, where do you want to go here? I don't know where you want to start this conversation.
Okay.
Let's have it though.
Okay. So let's do it this way. I'll just go down to my notes. Tankman put up one hell of a fight here. I really do wish we had more Tankman in GCW. And like I said, I think the last show, if I just got to see a little bit more of what he's about, I would like to see him take a run as maybe a JCW champion.
Yep.
I need to see more of him though. I'm just saying, just 6 more months of seasoning on my TV, and then I would just be a little more connected to him. But he's that type that has the personality that you could easily connect to him. So I'm looking forward to that. Our winner here was Blake Christian, and now let's talk. Do you have anything to say before we start in on this one about the match? Because it
Yeah.
was a good match.
Yeah, I just got a couple notes here. So, are we stopping before what happened are we stopping at the end of the match, or not going into?
I'm on you now. I've said my
Okay.
little things. I'm on to whatever you have to say, and then we're gonna talk it talk.
All right. So my notes real fast. Glad to see Tankman back as well, but I'm also love kind of seeing him sporadically. I know it's weird to say I want
Mm-hmm.
to see him more, but I think him showing up a little bit sporadically, kind of how he is, except I would like to a little bit more often, um, to keep that monster in him, to kind of showcase. It's kind of like a showcase instead of like, hey, every week he's just dominate, and then at some point they're going to run out of dominating, or he's going to have to lose. And I think that's going to hurt him, or like would hurt him is over the long run if we see him more. So I do want to see him more, but I do like seeing him spread out a little bit. The one spot of this match I loved everything. He didn't sell shit for Blake when he didn't call for it, and I loved it. I love like the
Mm-hmm.
stomp when Blake could not get that stomp on him. He's like stomping on his back. I loved it. It made Tankman look so strong. I thought this was another creative ending for Blake's run. While it still made Tankman look really good. Mercer's looking good in his role as the enforcer and backup. I think this really enhances Mercer's strengths as showing him as the big muscle guy and handling Tankman doing the moonsault battery of Tankman was fucking insane. And then, oh, what was I saying? Oh, okay. Then I kind of went off to the end of the next match, but I kind of I'll space it out there. But that's kind of in my thing with the Blake stuff. The talking, I want to see him talk more as a champion. I feel like we haven't really heard him talk as
Mm-hmm.
a champion as much on the mic since he's been champion. He did way more talking defending than he did or chasing the title than he did defending the title.
Mm-hmm.
But the next match when he was on commentary and hopped on, like him just all that talking is like this is stuff we should have been hearing over the last few months, I think, just
Gotcha.
condensed into one show. And I just want to hear a little bit more talking on him on the mic as champion, especially now since he's kind of got this renewed character refreshened up with Mercer as backup.
So you just spoon fed me right into our conversation.
Let's go.
Here we go. I'm going to go ahead and read the first, let's just say, statement that I had about this. I wrote down while I was watching this match Blake's character. First of all, I love you, Blake. He knows it. I'm just talking about the character of Blake Christian. And I think this has to do with booking more or less than anything else, more than it does the character. So I'm just saying Blake's character plays the guy who comes out and spoils something good repeatedly. There has been no stated purpose or motivation. Therefore, it makes no sense to me. He doesn't need the belt to do what he's doing now. So what's the purpose of him holding the belt? So that was my circular argument there. Um, but that's where it came in with you was I agree with you. If he was on the microphone more, I would know his stated purpose or motivation, which would help me to understand his direction. And that's why I said what sets Blake apart from Charles Mason. Because with Mason, there's generally a stated target, a stated, and with Blake Christian, it could be very random. And I think that's good because there's a level of unpredictability. But in the booking of heels, it can be somewhat demoralizing to the fans for a heel not to get his shit kicked in more often than what he does right now. So, yeah, so that was kind of where I put on the first one because I don't want to fill a bunch in on you. But yeah, I put that he comes out and spoils something good, which we know is a lot of. Um, I just don't have a stated purpose or motivation. If he got on the mic, I feel that would erase that problem, which basically means my entire first paragraph that I just wrote to you would be completely nullified if I just had a good like a good reason. If he would just tell me I'm here to do this specifically. I don't care if it's a personal, professional reason. I don't care if it's I don't know. But huh, I disagreed and agreed with myself, but I'm trying to give you the roadmap so you understand. You know what I mean? I agree with you, but I'm trying to tell you the problem is on my side. What I
So can I
see.
tell you here's where I see, like, kind of to answer your question of like what's his
Yeah, yeah,
purpose? He's the champion. He doesn't want
yes.
anybody to fuck with him. He's already not been champion. He almost like he left GCW, realized like,
Okay.
hey, he got rejected by the bigger leagues. Now he's back to GCW. He's like realized, hey, this is where I'm at. This is my place. I have to keep this my place. Like I can't let the Moxies come in and control GCW again because look what happened last time. Like can't let the Nick Gages. I don't want to get extreme. Like this is. I think he just wants to have control of GCW. Um, doesn't want
Mm-hmm.
to lose what he kind of left like and lost when he did leave, and he wants to hurt the challengers. I think, and so that way they're obviously hurt for him by the time he comes, and he's kind of beating them up before they have a chance to beat him up. So that's just my thing. Now, I think going into like the whole chase for the belt, we could have heard a lot more stuff other than just, hey, I'm the shit, I'm the shit. Like that's pretty much what he was saying. Like I wanted more purpose during this is what I was saying. Like, and you agree, I wanted more purpose during the chase than what we are like more purpose when he was talking during the chase. And now that he is champion, we ain't hearing nothing. And I would kind of like to hear kind of like, hey, what he's going to do to stay on top and stay ahead of everybody.
Well, I mean, I look at it as almost like someone who went to the top of a mountain, got to the top, looked around, and went, "Okay, what next? What? I
I
mean,
think he's like
really, what
looking
next?"
down, like,
Right?
hey, everybody
Yeah,
stay down. I think he's like pushing, like, I picture
he's
him just
kicking.
stomping on everyone's head, literally stomping on everybody, keeping him down. So that way he's on top because without the belt, we saw what he was in GCW. So I don't know.
Yes.
That's just my kind of my wrestling booking in my head of kind of the story and the purpose and stuff like that.
Okay. Good. 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 Okay. So we've got that much down. Let me see if there was anything else in that statement. Anything really? No, I just felt that it just needs a clear whatever. And I will say that I feel like maybe I did overcomplicate his purpose. Maybe it is just a hey, come out and dirty style stomp down someone before they become a bigger threat. So, I mean, same thing. I think he could put a promo somewhere once every two shows that would kind of back that up, and I think that would be a little better.
And to set up
Otherwise, though, yeah,
for me,
yes.
it's like set up the next challenger. Like that's I've been bitching about this. This is not Blake's fault. This
Uh
is booking.
oh.
This is the creative. Like this is me. This is what I've always bitched about his entire title run. None of these other than what I just said, but like it shouldn't be the champion picks the fucking challenger. Like, sorry, the champion you defended. Like, it shouldn't be like he gets to pick. Oh, I want to keep it easy and go against Adam Priest or like
Right,
these
right.
lower non GCW, not lower. I hate saying that, but like the people we don't see regularly on GCW and the more local talent when we are in those territories. I just want to see a story, a purpose, a chase. I that's what I want to see back and forth. Someone cut him up, tell him to shut the fuck up, and then now we have a title, a challenger that actually makes sense too. Like I don't know. I like my wrestling to make sense, especially when it comes to the title belts and the world champion specifically. Like Sawyer Wreck in the next title, like it just like, hey, she's getting the title belt or title shot just because she's in Tampa. It's like I wish she would have gotten a couple more wins over these last few shows recently just to keep her like, hey, momentum. That makes sense. Yeah, she's been on fire. She should go against Blake, not like, hey, we haven't seen her in a few months and now she's getting the next time. This is no shot on her. This has been every opponent for Blake. It's not their fault, not the opponent's fault. They stepped up and had great matches and delivered. I just think it's the booking of the chase of the belt that kind of takes away the funnest part of wrestling. That's why they always are having the faces chase after the heels going into WrestleMania, the chase, like to get the fans behind them for that big holy shit moment at the collective. Like we're not seeing a consistent face, and maybe hopefully now in LA we'll start to see one to start building their way up and challenge rightfully so Blake Christian.
All right. So I think I kind of doubled my next point, but I'll just say it anyway. The heel Blake's playing gets his ass kicked more often just needs to get his ass kicked more often as an instigator. I put it. It's been months and the heel hasn't really fallen, so it's demoralizing to the fans. So I'll go through that. Uh, Here we go. Blake's reign is full of middle of the road challengers who we know weren't GCW championship capable before the match even started. I really do wish we had more in house opponents for Blake. Yeah, I'll just leave that at that and let you go from there. Just to
Same.
okay.
Not that I bitched about just now and have been in the past. I'm the same. I want more in-house defenses or challengers. That makes sense and rightful. Like make a purpose.
And there's only so many regulars, so to speak. So if we are going to have more in-house challengers, we need to have just a touch of a story in it because, like I said, we only have so many that come around, in the traveling circus over time. Okay, Jennifer Smith asks, there's Jenny asking, is Blake's time over though?
I think I literally wrote this in my notes. And I think maybe I sent it to you too. I think Shane Mercer refreshened it and extended it a little bit longer than maybe what it should have been. I think maybe it gotten to the point where for me, I wanted a new champion just to start, like just to make purpose. And I love like his matches and stuff, but just no challengers that made sense. I thought his time was coming up, but now with Mercer there, like now maybe this will extend a little bit further where he could get like an actual threat, and that's why Mercer's there. Maybe now he's starting to feel even more threatened, and that's why he's bringing Mercer in, and to kind of this is maybe foreshadowing his time of champion. I think I told you I would love to see a Shane Mercer kind of Batista Triple H kind of thing where Mercer's kind of turns on Blake Christian over time.
Ooh. All right. Okay. Here we go. So if anybody wants to pull out quotes, here we go. There's going to be, yeah.
I'm clipping it.
It is what it is. Okay. So I'm just being fair about this, and I'm trying to pull it back 5 years from now. How am I going to, look back at this? I put that right now, we're missing the big fight feel a world champion match should have. The belt seems to be missing its importance right now. We may look at the championship run as kind of a downtime for the belt years from now. It feels almost as this run is a gift for one of the boys more than it is for the fans. So, I mean, I'm just trying to be tough with it. I love Blake. I think he's the kindest of all gentlemen, but I just want to say we may look at this 3 years from now and go, "Oh yeah, that fucking guy. What a ugh." And he did his job, but I don't know if he did it in a go away kind of heat way, or I don't know because it's becoming annoying to a lot of people.
I
That's
think
why
that's
I
how it
say
started off,
demoralized.
going away.
Yeah. Yeah, and
But
I'm trying to be fair, but at the same time, I'm ready to move on to where my championship has a big fight feel. I'm ready for my championship to be at the end of the fucking show, unless there's a special attraction or a death match that, I think that's really fair. Um, I do want to see the challenger take on the best, and if it has to be in the region, I think that's fair. But yeah, it would be really a lot nicer if we could have a storyline in house with someone, before Manser came out and dumped Effie over the ropes. The crowd went nuts for that Effie win. They went ballistic. This fan base, for the longest time, they've always been a feel good fan base, let's not lie. For the longest time, we've been ready now for a face champion to take over this company again. We've got heels generally in Violence is Forever. We have heels right now, or we have a heel for Blake right now. I mean, our Rhea Yamashita comes in once every month or two to hit a match or a weekend. So that's not even being defended on American TV half the time. So sometimes the only two matches with titles that we're gonna see have heels in the spot. So that's kind of it's not feel good, and that's exactly what GCW is. When you think of it, you think of just screaming fans, and when that's what I look at. And like I said, this is me going harsh tonight. I swear to God, I love all of this, but I'm saying from a booking aspect, if they don't give him a reason and something exciting and a storyline to put behind it, then it's the same old shit, and I'm not interested because I've seen it before. I don't care what face they change at this point. This his Like I said before, I was worried as a first title defense that his title is going to be the prestige in his title is going to be dictated by his opponents, and his opponents have been middle of the road. I
yeah,
love y'all. I do. I
I
love y'all, but
I think
what's up,
that's what's
Kareem?
hurt it, unfortunately, with him. I might be getting my wish that I've kind of asked for. Like I've been saying, I want storylines with GCW and regulars and fighting and taking over. And I think this is what we're getting with Manser and Effie. But I also think it's also going to lead to the 2024. Like the collective, I think should be just one big happy ending. Like people, all the faces, not faces win, but like all the fan favorites win. Get that belt off Blake. Start fresh, a new GCW 2024 with the old roster leading the charge. And then now start like leading into 2025, start building in the next wave of stuff. I think this is like the cyclical part of GCW where they need to come back with their core. And I think that's why everybody's been loving everything they've been doing lately, is because they're focusing on the regulars with the big storylines. I just wish they would do Blake as a champion with some part of that stuff. And I think I'm getting my wish there. I don't know. I'm hoping that the regulars kind of take over. And as you said, like we got to find a way. I think the big blow off, I think, is how to get that belt on Manser to have Effie take it off of Matt Collective. I think that would just be the big blow off and great start for 2024 or the next part of 2024, the storylines after Collective weekend.
Well, for the last 2 months, the Effie and Man storyline has been the storyline. And I'm hoping they continue to do a great job with that, because I'm hoping that's setting an example for some of the others in the locker room so that they can learn how to set up their own storylines and make something compelling for themselves. You know, sometimes a lot of fans will come to the show and they'll be like, this is fantastic, you know, this and that. I remembered a couple personalities, but sometimes they don't remember much else. That's generally because storylines are what most people will sometimes remember past the flips and past this and that, or, you know, a crazy shot to the head with something. So
My my first
I
show,
just,
my first memories and wrestlers of the first show, S. Matthew Justice, Mance Warner, and Manders fucking wrestling and jumping off of shit outside in Vegas. Like, what the hell? Like, this is my first GCW show. What the hell is going on? And then Effie, just like the presence that he had. I'm like, this was my first time seeing all these people in GCW. I'm like, yeah, they're a big deal. SGC is a big deal. Effie is a big deal. Jordan, seeing like a young kid going out and having a great match against the legend Ricky Marvin. Like, holy shit, like he could go. Like, I never heard of Jordan before. I know Ricky. Like, who's this kid holding up? Like, all these people were the ones that stood out to my memory of those first GCW nights. And those are the regulars. Those are the people that I think they should be starting to come back and build around heading into Collective. Like, I want to see who Gringo's big adversary is this year for Collective, because he's been having the best matches of his careers right around Collective time, and it's been fun to see because they've just been so built up and awesome. And I think we're gonna get Effie Mance. I don't know. I think this Tampa is gonna be kind of a something's gonna happen there. I think maybe that's where Blake comes in and just fucks it all up for everybody.
I don't think it's the first match. I have a deep down feeling, as creative as both of these men are, no shit, as creative as both of these men are, I feel this is the start of a small series of matches, and I hope I'm right.
Yeah, I hope
GCW
that
guy
does too. Right.
yes, that's it right here. Again, this is another one of the shirts I did
The
myself. It's a white
tie-dye.
shirt. I've got four different colors of green, and yeah, this is white, and then I dyed it black. So what's up? Hey, it's awesome,
Yeah,
dude. I'm able to do a shirt for like $10 or something. So I get $10 shirts and I get to pick my own colors. It's kind of cool.
I think the sad part about this whole Blake Christian stuff is like we spent probably the last few podcasts not talking about what's next for him, because it's like what could be next, because we really haven't seen anything leading towards next with all his kind of the mid-tier talent he's wrestling defending the belt. Like we're more talking about like who's gonna take it off, what's all the other fun stuff that's gonna happen after the belt. So I think it is at that point, even though Mercer's there. I think it's going to help extend it to Collective, maybe, is what my thinking is. But I don't know. Like, do they do 2 belt swaps in one weekend? I don't know. I don't know what's going to
I'm
happen.
down.
That's fun.
I'm down for all of it.
Yeah, that's what makes it fun. We don't know what the hell is going to happen. It's going to be fun to see and interesting. I'm excited. Obviously, it's a lot of possibilities now. And we're not even talking about all the new names that might be coming into GCW to fuck with shit.
Okay, it's funny you said that. I can't. Okay, dude,
I
I
got you.
told
I
you
got you.
today.
Yep.
I said, when is TOS, bro? And it's in the summer. If you're a fan of our podcast, there's one person I've been really wanting to get into GCW for the longest time, because I said I said he's a monster, and He's fucking huge, and he's great at death matches. And nah, man. Yeah. So one of my guys, I know, right? Yeah, one of my guys who I'm really looking forward to see. I believe I'm going to be seeing in the summer, right around TOS. So I already gave a lot away. Luckily, it's live. So and then recorded for later shit. But anybody who knows wrestling and knows me knows that I'm a big body person. I'm a big fan of, guys that come out of cornfields and
Well,
and
we got another big guy we could talk about right now. If you're trying to backpedal, you're out of this situation here. We could go into the
no, man.
scramble match.
No, not at all.
Okay.
Actually, I'd asked. I'm believe around summer, if not a little earlier, if everything lines up. We're seeing Cruel in GCW.
Breaking news over here.
No. I'm looking back on it. That came out somewhere else, so it's not.
All right, next match. This is how it transitioned. Blake Christian.
It wasn't. No. This was kind of public stuff. This wasn't.
Okay. That's all I could go into the next one.
Asked about it and got an answer about it, and it was not in a back channel. This was totally public, and if people were there to see it, they would have caught it also. It was just. I'm just saying that's
It's exciting.
Yeah.
A lot of exciting stuff. I'm actually excited to see a lot of names. I know, like, I've been saying too that deathmatch, you got to start rebuilding kind of the deathmatch little group that they've been running as of late. Yeah, I don't know. Should we go on to the next one?
Yeah, you're laughing. Look at you. No. Like I said, I asked in a public setting.
I'm about to say I don't want to get anybody in trouble or anything like that.
No. There's nothing in trouble whatsoever. It was something I asked someone else, and they were doing their whatever stream somewhere else, and they were like, "Yeah, it should be this, should be that." I'm like, "Okay," but otherwise, no, I would never give if no,
no, not the punter, Biz.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think as I was writing in my notes, going into the next match, they had a nice transition as Blake. It goes right into the scramble. Shane Mercer just stays out in the ring as the rest of the competitors come into the scramble, which I liked. Then Blake on commentary, I think, as we both kind of just hit upon, was awesome hearing him kind of talk. We do want to see a little bit more of it to figure out what's going on and what's next. But I think the scramble was a interesting group pairing as we had in that scramble Braden Toon, Alec Price, Golden Dragon, Joshua Bishop, Microman, and Pero. Whoa,
Yeah.
what? Oh, and Shane Mercer, that was still in the ring. Yeah. That is a scramble in a hat. Well, that was a scramble. It was a really good scramble.
Yeah, it was definitely scrambled. Holy shit, it was all over the place. Oh my goodness.
It was crazy. A lot of action
in one pan. There was so much going on in this match. Okay, a couple observations. I actually like Pero coming out without the chain on, the doggy harness thing, but I still like him. I don't know what else to call it. It's like a harness thingy for my life isn't that exciting, but I like still having him come out with a chain. It's kind of nice to have. A special entrant was added to that match, and that's where we got Welcome to the Jungle playing across the speakers. I originally thought it was going to be George South, so I was losing my shit. I'm like, Welcome to the Jungle's George South's jam. Nope. Microman enters the ring to Holy Shit Chance. What you thinking, bro?
That it was just chaotic. Like the scene of Pero and Microman was the best. Bishop being back was awesome. Like I want to see more Bishop in GCW. I think he's good for JCW, but I think he's also menacing enough to do some really cool stuff in GCW. Yeah, Microman was kind of the star of it. Golden Dragon, interesting seeing that. That's what I think one of the first times I've seen Golden Dragon. Braden too, nice seeing him getting the push and getting all these matches still in GCW. And yeah, this was a crazy group. High Flyer, Microman, two monsters, Alec Price, Braden. It was just one of those chaotic scrambles, and I think it was just a fun, big mesh of styles, and it had a fun little stories of the Microman Pero, the Bishop looking up at Pero trying to challenge him. Like I loved how they told a bunch of different stories in this scramble.
Yeah, to me, this match was pretty much wrapped around Microman and what he can do next. Uh, we had the Micro Meat chant when Microman decided to face off with Pero and Bishop at the same time. Then we had the Microman dive from the opera box.
I
Something
forgot
tells me,
about that dive.
man. Yeah, dude is so unique and just okay. What I really want to know is that as a performer, I want to know how much tape that they had to watch so they knew how to work with Microman. You know what I mean? Because they worked. I mean, I'm not going to cut the shit here. They worked really well. There was quite a few spots there to where they did a really good job. And I'm sure they had to kind of know their shit ahead of time to know where and what to do, because unless you know Spanish, how the hell are you going to tussle with them? So,
Yeah, that's what I was wondering about too. Like, how did that conversation go with Pero and Microman in the back? In the back, like how to set that up and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, these are the things you think of.
I also love seeing Miedo like in the background of one of the cutscenes. Like I forgot, like I think it was one of the entrances or in the back. You just see him just chilling on a chair, eating some food right next to commentary, just hanging out, enjoying himself. I love seeing all that little stuff. Mercer getting the win.
Yeah,
I like
this
the funny
match
little
has all
stuff.
these young guys in it. That's all. I'm so sorry.
No,
I'm
you're
talking
good.
right over here. Yeah, there's a lot of young talent in here, and I mean, almost everyone in this match could take that JCW title.
Yeah, I don't even like see Microman on it.
I said I would have loved to have seen him and Janela. Janela put that title on the line. I would have loved to have seen Microman get the Extreme title.
Yeah.
The reason being is because that title is so heavy that he would be that would probably be a third of his weight. Microman's like 68 pounds. That belt's probably 20. Yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah. That was a good.
I think it was 68.
It was a good, fun scramble, just like in the middle, just throw chaos right in the middle of the card. I enjoyed it. Yeah, I think it was good
chaos
for Mercer.
In the middle of a card. I got chaos in the middle. You fuckers like boneless wings? That's chicken nuggets, guys.
Boneless.
Yeah. Well, he said same.
I don't.
Said same. Y'all are crazy out there. You got to have wings. You got to have bones in them. You know what? It's kind of funny,
just cut the chase. Just cut it. Eat it. Let's go. I don't want to.
Okay, so you know what? I was always riding my son's ass about that because I'm like, man, have some wings. Get like a drum or get the whatever, right? And see, Chicky Tendies, you ask. I'm surrounded by Tendy fans. Okay, so I asked my son about it, and he's like, honestly, I don't feel like picking a carcass. I'd rather someone just take the meat off for me and get it all together. And I'm like, okay, see, there's the wifey coming in. Flats. See, she's a bone-in kind of girl. So, all right. Anyway, okay. So yeah, Alec Price, big fan. Shane Mercer, big fan. Braden Toon, it's like, come on. Yeah, Pero's educated though, so he may know Spanish. You never know in that one, but
all right, yeah,
worked so well with him. This was Microman's coming back. No kidding. There's no way in hell he's not coming back after those performances that weekend.
I fully expect to see him at the clusterfuck, and I definitely need to see Ricky Berwin show up at the clusterfuck somehow, some way. I was shocked he showed up to that show, to be honest with you. But then I found out like he lived kind of close to us. I'm like, that made sense. I think he would pop some numbers for the collective here.
Ricky Berwick, the guy that was with Janela on Janela's Own. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. That is so funny. I'm still thrown off by the wing things. I'm sorry, guys. I grew up in Ohio where Buffalo Wild Wings was created. So it's like, damn.
I like wings, but if I had a choice, just give me something. Let me stick a fork in it, put it in ranch, and we're good to go.
Ranch. You know what's good? Okay. We're talking for a minute, so fuck it here. I like Buffalo Wild Wings.
Yeah,
I like the garlic, the garlic, what the fuck is that called? Garlic Parmesan are fucking awesome. And then there's a spicy garlic that's badass, which you have. There's a dry rub one too. It's fucking awesome. It's like a garlic, whatever, at Wingstop.
I like a Buffalo Wild Wings, the hot barbecue. My wife actually just ate there on Saturday. They said they brought the hot barbecue sauce back. I was like, oh shit, I might need to stop by there.
There you go, Nuggy fans. Oh my goodness. Okay, okay, yeah. I we could get off subject real quick here. So our winner in that one was Shane Mercer, and yeah, here we are, looking strong. Knew that was coming.
Yeah, I'm glad to see him get pushed. I've been calling kind of asking for him to get pushed for a while. So seeing this kind of was happy to see. And I like to see I think he's also the kind of like how AJ Gray was, hey, we need you in this fill in for this death match. Shane Mercer's got you. We need you for a scramble. Shane Mercer's got you. Like, doesn't matter what you need, Shane Mercer's there for you. And yeah, I'm kind of glad to see he has a purpose and kind of a sense and a push right now. All right. Next match is the GCW Ultraviolet title match as the champion Rina Yamashita defends it against John Wayne Murdoch. Uh, I love the start. I love the hot start. And I'd love the timing. Like it was just quick. Well, let's see. I wrote it was short. Yes, I think I wrote 6 minutes. It was 8 minutes. 8 minutes
Yeah.
long. Just
Yeah.
boom, boom, quick, violent match. Loved it. And I still get so shocked to see Glass at Talia Hall. Like, oh shit, like I forgot that place like lets them go crazy and stuff like that. So that was kind of cool to see. And yeah, Rena's there. I think Rena's also, hate to say it, we need a new title, like one that's going to be defended, as you said, a little bit more than as often as it's been. Even though like it came out to 12 times last year, once a month, it didn't feel like that because they were also spread out and kind of clumped together whenever she was here working in the States. I, for one, kind of wouldn't mind seeing a new face carry the ultraviolet title and represent GCW, and a new face just to kind of create new matchups in GCW. Like I actually wouldn't mind bringing back I think she's hurt though. Casey Kirk, man. I think she would have been a
Oh,
cool little challenger or a cool new champion with some awesome matchups. Also leading into, as we possibly said, a newcomer coming into the division in the summer, and with some backstory that they have there, I think it would have been a good story to tell, and maybe they could still tell it now that they might be bringing him back, bringing him in the summer with Casey Kirk. I just want to see new blood as a champion, new matchups, new faces, and I think after Collective should be a good time to do so.
okay. So we were talking about the whole thing with Rina Yamashita. Yeah. So what's going on with her is like we see her once every 2 months sometimes. I think we saw her. Well, we saw her here in January. We saw her in December a little bit, and then it had been like October since then. I like a fighting champion, but I would like to see it on my television show more than anything else. The There has been a total of 7 title holders of the GCW Ultraviolent Championship. Let's see. We've got Cologne at 105 days. That was number one. Number two, Drew Parker, 93. Masashi Takeda was number three at 19 days. Number four was Alex Cologne's second run, 138. Number five was Murdoch, 66 days. Number six was Alex Cologne's third run of 69 days. And then we have Rina Yamashita right now running 529 days. So until this run, we hadn't seen this belt go over 138 days ever. I'm okay with change. I just don't know who to put in that position right now. Do you have maybe a name you're thinking of? I mean, Murdoch, or who are you thinking?
Man,
I want,
off the
dude. Let me just throw this out there because I'm fucking sick of saying it. I Let me pop the cork. I want Schlack back. I would love him to come in, fucking. I'm so sorry. I miss GCW bite out of our GCW fights. And it seems like Schlack came in with a bite. And I can say this about some others, but this is the one where I think maybe Brett needs to test the audience on some of these wrestlers again because he went over like crazy in Japan. And I think he was on a show not too long ago. And we I'd like to see, God, it's time just for some change. It's just time for some change in my fucking mind. I mean, it's okay to play nice all the time, but all right, I've seen Rena. Well, so has Japan about as much as we've seen her, and I don't think it's fair because our fucking our belt is gone for half the time, and look what she did. Well, that's nice. I don't want to watch something on tape delay, and honestly, I don't care for the company that she's working at, wherever that company is at this time or another. So for me, I just want a fighting championship at home. I like the whole feel good this and that for GCW, but when it comes to things like ultra violent matches, I need that bite. I need that attitude. Rena comes out and it's a lot of happy, happy. Who is typing? Is that you?
No, my son. He's on the
Oh,
keyboard
okay.
over there. Yeah.
Wow. Wow. So I mean, without going too much further, I think we're not seeing as much championship defense as we should, especially when we're kind of short on championships for some reason. The JCW title right now is about to be defended in France. If anybody's paying attention to that, there's about to be I guess it would be a unification, but whoever comes out of that match between Jordan and I forget the name of the other,
I think
he's
it was
about to
Man
come
Like
out with
Reese,
2
wasn't it?
belts. No. This is a show in France that's going to be
Oh,
coming
okay.
up soon. They're putting a French title up against the JCW title. You get a chance, maybe check it out there. But now we have maybe Jordo 2 belts going on. I don't know. Either that or we lost our shit in France. We're gonna find out. It's better than a
That's
fucking
another thing too. Like,
back of a Honda in a fucking Jersey garage somewhere. Oh boy,
uh,
what a good day.
I'm kind of with you. Yeah, I do want to see Rena as like we do need a new champion, but also like with Blake being the champion, like that and the tag belts are the only ones like that are going to be here. Like that ultraviolet belt is not here. Like I don't know. Like I'm honestly trying to think of a. I'm trying to think of a U.S. wrestler or Canada, like a North American wrestler, deathmatch wrestler, to be the champion. And I'm actually kind of thinking outside GCW. Like I wouldn't mind Cole as being like the resurgence to start doing it again. The death matches and bring new young blood into that belt. But I cannot think of any names like literally that I would want to see come in that like really hasn't been here already.
I mean,
Casey Kirk's
if we're
like
gonna be
one.
in the same, thank you. Yep.
Yeah,
Her,
like
Casey
I'm
Kirk.
sorry, that's the name. The pop that she got in the match that
I
she
got
had with
another.
Rena.
I got one more. Ludark Shatan. You need to go see her if you haven't. Ludark down in Mexico is fan fucking tastic, and she could carry this division, no questions asked. 100%. I've been fighting to get her up here. I have a feeling that may be happening also.
Well, didn't she just
Maybe.
wrestle like on one
She
of
was
these?
in the junkyard.
Oh, the Mexico, yeah, the
Yeah.
Mexico show, yeah.
Yep. I was nervous as shit for her because I really wanted her to do a really good show because she was up against Rena down there, and that's gatekeeping territory. So
Yeah.
I was hoping that she really had a good match with her because you know how it is. People get tried out sometimes in their own territories, and that's how they're found. So fingers
Yeah.
crossed.
And what
Oh,
I'm saying
sorry.
about like the death. Oh, God.
Oh no, somebody. I've got
There's the
my
other
mind
junkyard.
going on 100. Yeah, the junkyard match. That was the show in Mexico. It's at what's the name of them? Zona 23.
Yep.
The match was geez. Yeah, Bizarre. They have a There was a match that was held at a junkyard. Let me see if I
I
can even give
watched
you
2 years ago's Zona versus GCW last night. Drew Parker against Ciclope.
Oh,
What the what happened in a junkyard that match? I turned around, I was like, man, they're putting on that big of a death match in a junkyard. This is crazy. Like, oh man, those were the good times. That's one name. I want to see him back as Drew Parker.
So the show is called GCW versus Zona 23. It happened. It happened earlier, but it was broadcast on December 24th of last year. So basically Christmas Eve, just a couple weeks ago. So if anybody's looking for it, but the first match had big fucking Joe in it.
Yeah.
Ciclope, Bam Sullivan, Miedo Extremo, Jimmy Lloyd, Rena Yamashita, Ludark Shatan, and then the main event was Pagano versus John Wayne Murdoch in a 15-minute bloodbath. And all the shit was shot in a fucking junkyard. That's the venue for Zona 23.
Literally, you're there sitting on cars and dirt and rocks. It's cool. It's crazy. The fans are into it. You hear those movements nonstop. So you just hear stuff and rattling. It's a fun show. It's a good show whenever they do it out there. Like, especially like I said, like the card you just named. Yeah, all those good names. Drew Parker, Ciclope.
Yeah.
I will answer your question. I just thought about it. Honestly, these are two names I've been saying I want. I don't know how much U.S. death match they would do. Chris Brooks and Mao. Bring them to the States full time. I love those two. I think those two would have some fucked up death matches, as Mao would say. Chris Brooks is awesome and killer. Like, I just don't know exactly, like I said, quote unquote death match. I know they do some stuff. Uh, some of the stuff I've seen out there. Like, I don't know. I would love to see those two come over, and I would like to see them check them out a lot more because I have DDT and that Stardom or not Stardom, that Wrestle Universe, that package with Stardom. I have all those companies that got that package just for DDT after that collective show, and just for Mao and Chris Brooks, because like I love those two. And I think, yeah, that would be new fun blood in the deathmatch scene. I throw in Jacob Fatu, man. They're right there. You just those three good fun matches and death matches. I don't know. I just think there needs to be a reset. But honestly, then I'm thinking about who is big enough right now to take the belt off Rena. It's John Wayne Murdoch, and I kind of don't want to see that again. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I don't mind John Wayne Murdoch doing these death. Exactly.
I love Murdoch, but we have seen it, number one. And I think what you're also saying is he needs to come forward with a personality if we're going to see him continue, because otherwise, just being that
or stop
it nowhere badass is, yeah. And here's the other thing: positive face Murdoch is actually kind of comical and fun to watch, because deep down he does take care of bunnies, and he does have a family, and he does have, I mean, a wonderful family.
And they cheer for him no matter what.
Yeah. And once you get a chance to meet him and crack the little outside shell and talk to him, dude is so down home nice. No kidding. So, yeah, I mean, Casey Kirk would just be interesting, because she would have to come in with a certain amount of attitude and be like, your ass is going down. There's a new queen here. And, Masha Slamovich possibly, but we've seen her in the world championship setting.
Yep. So I don't want that so fast either.
Right.
I don't mind seeing her in death matches. Just doesn't have to be the champion.
Okay. Are you ready? Because he's kind of been asking for it. Give it to Manser. Give the belt to Manser. He can say, look, I am the toughest motherfucking bleeding blah, 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 blah there is. He'd have the belt to prove it. And then if he wanted to, he can start getting greedy and going for the world championship. That's a lot for one person. So let's just go back to where he could at least take the ultraviolent belt.
I like that idea. Manser, absolutely, because he would be an awesome fresh face of that division. I forgot Jimmy Lloyd. Jimmy Lloyd is one too that's just sitting there. I think, especially now with the Broski character, maybe he's the one who takes it off Rena by some bullshit Cardona Steph DeLander way, and that makes Rena still keeps her strong and moves her off of that belt, moves her towards Blake Christian or somebody top of the top of the tiers that she's already been wrestling against anyway. And then now you got Jimmy Lloyd as the deathmatch champion, and also you don't know, is he going to stay the bad guy, keep Cardona's help because he wants to stay champion, he's tired of getting fucked over, or does he, now that he's champion, wants to get rid of all this broski shit and go back to deathmatch Jimmy? Like, I think there's some good possibilities. Nice easy switch there too. I don't know. That's just one that I thought I would be really excited for.
You said a lot there, buddy, but
I'm going crazy. Yeah, sorry.
No, it's beautiful. This is the good stuff. This is the good stuff is when we're getting deep here.
Because I don't have much on the next match, so that's why.
No, that's fine. Well, I will say this much, though. Rena started the match with a balcony dive.
Yeah, the hot start, yep.
Above where Microman dove.
Oh, really?
But isn't that an odd choice? That's like having a stage dive and then someone starts their match with a stage dive right over yours. That was kind of a cardinal rule broken there. I'm not gonna lie. It was a very odd choice, my friend. I
didn't think about it. Normally I would kind of see that stuff and notice it. I didn't notice that one, so I don't know. I just love the hot start. That's what kind of got me, was the hot start part.
Yep, because again, you know how I look at it. I look at it like a stage production. I'm like, why in the fuck did she just take a balcony dive after Microman just took his? It just kind of nullifies the. Yeah. I did put, though, that where there was an entertaining match. There were two gussets on Murdoch in the first 15 seconds. They beat the shit out of each other, destruction everywhere. And again, I think you said it was like 8 minutes? Totally.
Yeah.
You know what? Sometimes a nice rapid fire fucking death match is just exactly what you need. We've seen Murdoch pull off a 5-minute death match and make it look wonderful. So in this case, 8 minutes, it sounds to me like was the perfect amount of time. John Wayne Murdoch did look strong in this one, so I felt like everybody gained something by the end of this match. Our winner here was still Rina Yamashita.
Yes. That will lead us into our next matchup, as it is Dan the Dad going against Mance Warner. I I let's put it like this. I wish this match was either never happened. Mance just came out and beat the shit out of Dan the Dad and called it a night and just left before a bell rang, or ring the fucking bell. Dan the Dad gets no offense. Mance Warner just beats the shit out of him. Bing bang done. Now you got evil Mance Warner there. Like I get the no contest stuff. I just wish it was like there was zero offense. Like I gave Dan the Dad too much. I think I would have loved. Oh shit, Joey Janela starting his damn going live right now. I just saw the pop up reading my notes. Yeah, I just wish Mance would have just beat the shit out of Dan the Dad, gave him no offense, and just that would have just elevated Mance to that next form of his character and showed off a little bit more violent side.
Well, what got me was he came out to Simple Man, and then he told everybody that was going to be the last time we hear him come out to Simple Man. So
that sucks. That's one thing I didn't even. I like it for the character. I like it for the character, but I actually am gonna miss singing it because, like, damn, that's a man song.
Okay, and then here's what I'm gonna say. I think it's hard to get pumped up for someone to come out if they're gonna have a slow sing along. So when Mance comes out, you figure the violence guy, you would be like, oh hell yeah, and then Mama told me, and I'm like, well, wait a minute now. So for me, that's just how I look at it. So I'm actually happy to see him go to Pantera because I think like that fits more of his style. And I think that's going to fit more of who he is if he finds himself in the Ultraviolent title.
Is that where he's going? Did he say that? He's using walk?
He maybe. I think on the next show he came out to it, or I dreamt it in my head. But yeah, he said that was it, and I think
I know he said
the next time he came out on the next show was to walk. So I don't know. Who did? Yeah, that ended up being a no contest. Effie came out to interfere towards the end of the match, and the ref basically had to just throw it out. It turns into a brawl into the second story balcony. I really do think there was supposed to be a falling spot for Effie, but I'm unsure. But I do know Effie's not good with heights. So if there was a spot, he backed out of it. If not, then they took him to the edge because he's not big on. If you even look at him up high up on the ropes, it's not his place. Once you get to a certain size, man, like you really don't want to fall from there, and you're really not practicing up there once you hit a certain weight, Yeah. So,
yeah, I don't know. I thought the shots they were throwing were fucking brutal, man. Those were some stiff landing shots, and I loved how it looked, and it just played into the feud. And this is the story of the collective. I think I'm glad it's happening, and yeah, I don't know, because I just wish that match with Mansoor would just fucking gone ultra violent and just destroyed Dan the Dad. But yeah, it's a good setup, like the pull apart brawl, and I'm interested to see what happens with Manders. I think we talked about it last time, but I don't know. I hope he's not like the child caught in the middle of a divorce. I think that's the saying you used. I think if I remember correctly, that's how it popped in my head. But man, I just hope. Yeah, I hope they kind of use him. I can see him kind of being the one. Him and Mercer kind of having a nice little feud and kind of going back and forth to kind of have something for both of them. But yeah, Effie versus Mance is fun to watch, and online it's been still fun to watch too. Them going back and forth.
Also, through all this time right now, I've also noticed that we haven't heard much from one called Manders about the situation. So there's a little side quest there that something could be happening in a side story. It just hasn't been done. Oh boy. Okay, so we might as well just look at this real quick because we did talk about this last weekend. Bizzard's asking about the TNA branding, the rebranding that went on. He said he felt like it was over promoted and it was a pretty mid pay-per-view. What were your thoughts on that? Because I had a chance to go to that and I just decided not to because the prices were kind of high. And like I said, I stated it before and I'll say it for whoever is here that didn't hear it last time. I just feel like if the original company was successful, they wouldn't have to take it back to the TNA branding and name. Okay, so that's something right there that's here you are. Also, outside of the name and branding and a couple signings, what are they really doing to do something different? Because
I think it was all smoke and mirrors.
See, and that's what I said. I think it's lipstick on a pig. It's still a fucking pig. You just threw lipstick on it. You're trying to capture whomever by nostalgia. But I hate to say it, if you work your ass off, you're going to capture people by hard work. You don't have to pull stunts like pulling out a name from 15 years ago and saying, hey, we're going to piggyback on their hard work. Remember those guys? Yeah, we're back. Not really, but the name's back. That's being rough, but
I
I'm
was
just saying
excited
nothing's
for it.
changing.
And
I
yeah,
don't
the
think.
booking of what I saw of like the next tapings or like the next group, I didn't see it yet, but like, but what I thought I saw heard people saying was like the winners, like the how the next the TV tapings were booked was like why did we put all this time into all this new stuff and then like it went back to bad old booking and like kind of pushing the wrong people that not aren't going to restart. They aren't the faces of this new restart. It's kind of just names that you're bringing in and
Mhm.
out. I don't know. Like from what I read there, it makes me kind of disappointed, and I'll have to watch and see for myself and read it for myself. I didn't fully read it, but I just read some of people's opinions and kind of what they stated and what I saw. Some of the winners and losers.
Okay, so we're talking here just a little bit because let's see, said the biggest signing in TNA history, and it was Dolph Ziggler. Yeah, if we go back historically, the biggest signing in TNA history would have been Hulk Hogan. Interestingly enough, so it's kind of funny when they don't actually acknowledge their own history, even though they're back to it. Um, Also, the yellow ropes. I don't know if you remember, but the original first few episodes of TNA wrestling was like a yellow and black kind of thing. That's you would see. It was some of the early years. It was like when you were buying per pay per view show. There was a time where you had to buy per show on pay per view. There was no way to just get it anywhere else, I guess. So, yeah, I remember those TNA days. Yeah, TNA days also very very fun times. Like I said, I miss the six sided ring, but the wrestlers don't, and I'll just have to go with that. There you go. Also, the Asylum. There's a lot of bite in that company missing before they start bringing back an Asylum, and who would be the modern day Abyss over there right now. I mean, I don't even want to go into who's their oh
PCO.
shit, I don't even, yeah, who's their AJ Styles right now, you know see, like they got a lot of mid. There's a lot of mid companies with a lot of mid right
I think
now.
they're pushing the wrong people. I think that some of the talent should be pushed a lot better than what talent is being pushed, in my opinion. And I get why they're pushing them for the loyalty stuff, but I know for like fans like me and other fans that I've heard, like, man, we would like to see some of that new blood, like a speedball, fucking take over again, become the exposition champion, and keep on going. Like I don't know, I think speedballs underutilized there. I don't know. Moose as a champion kind of doesn't do it for me, but oh well.
I think there's just too many wrestlers in the industry right now. Whether people want to say it or not, there are too many companies, there are too many wrestlers, and that's why we have shows on Tuesday nights and Wednesday nights and Thursday nights. And
That's what
and
I'm
I think
saying. I
that
wouldn't mind the talent just stay away from the big ones and keep on making more shows on these days and nights. I think there's enough space out there, I think.
yeah, and I'm just being fair about it. I see, like, especially in local wrestling, there's a lot of people that they probably shouldn't wrestle. I mean, if you are under 125 pounds, you're like a beanpole. You can't flip when you go against the ropes. The ropes barely move. I mean, I'm sure there are jobs put in the ring together, but we do seem to have a lot of low tier and mid tier wrestlers that are clogging up the pipeline right now, especially when it comes to Philadelphia for these shows that are coming up later on this year. It seems like there's a lot of low tier talent that are whining and crying because I want to be on here, I want to be on there. It's like, well, lay down a track record first because that platform's going to be for people who work their ass off all year. So it's crazy right now. And like I said, I'm going out there on a limb, but honestly, MLW goes down tomorrow. I don't care. Impact TNA goes down tomorrow. Dude, I don't even know which one's the proper name anymore. I don't care. They could all go down tomorrow. Some shithole will take their place, look just the same, be just as non engaging, go for a bunch of wrestlers that only nerds will love, and then they'll go under too because they get no mainstream appeal. really there does needs to be a retooling in wrestling in some places right now, because there is so much fucking mid. I could look at MLW and cut 80% of it right now. I could go to TNA, cut 80 to 90% of it right now, and put together half of a decent squad of people that would we be worth talking about 5 years from now. Just, I don't know. I think the internet has made a lot of twos into eights. And I've said this with females, I've said this with males, I've said this with wrestlers, performers, musicians. The internet has made a lot of twos into eights. And unfortunately, that makes a lot of people who probably would have and could have quit whatever industry not quit and keep going, and just turned it into a big old mess of mashed potatoes that a lot of people don't want to watch. So I don't know. I don't know. But right now, for me, I feel with all this media, the wrestling should be in one hell of a growth period. And some are doing it right and some aren't. But there's a lot of mid that could go down tomorrow. I could care less. They're going to find jobs elsewhere anyway. And that's another problem. There's probably a 30% talent pool that should probably just sink. I know that sounds like a terrible quote, but if you're offended by that, you're probably in the bottom 30%. There is a lot of shit in the industry that does need to be combed through. And there's a lot of terrible comedy that needs to be cut out. And I think that when people start taking themselves a lot more seriously, mainstream people will take them a lot more seriously. I watched a lot of GCW show reactions on YouTube this weekend because I was kind of curious in what people had to say. A lot of them were like, whoa, that's crazy. And a lot of them are like, why does he do that? And what I realize is a lot of people sometimes aren't cool enough to get the joke, like the Invisible Man versus Invisible Stan. A lot of those people are like, I don't, this is so dumb. I'm like, no, you don't get it. The referee is putting on a fantastic piece of art. Like he's putting on performance art. Also, no one else has done that before. So what you're watching is just a small piece of history as far as I know. And unless you really sit there and take the time to look at it, people sometimes don't get it. I sound cranky, but it's true. I've watched a lot of wrestlers over 40 years, and I can look at a lot of them within 1 to 2 matches and a couple pictures of their bodies and faces and be like, they ain't making it. They just ain't. Bro, if you're 12 years in the industry, you're 150 pounds and under, and you can't do a front flip or a back flip, just get out. Just, I mean, things like that. It's like, okay, come on. But okay, I sound cranky. I'm done. I just, you know what I mean? Like this was my coming to Jesus moment, I guess. I have to just admit it. There's a lot of crap on TV when I see them come across on IWTV or other places. I'm just like, why do they still perform? CZW, modern day CZW. I don't know how they could make a card of names of people I've never heard of before in my life, but they can every single time. Like that. I don't know. Eh. God, I sound terrible.
I don't
Get off
mind
my
where
lawn.
no, I don't mind the companies. I like kind of seeing different variations because you just see different forms. But I also like if I don't like it, I just don't check it out. But I get what
Yeah,
you say. There's
yeah.
a lot out there to watch, and it makes it feel like you have to. And then you're watching, it's like, why am I watching this when there's other stuff that's better? And then you have to sit through a lot of stuff, bad stuff, to kind of get to the good stuff too. So yeah, I don't
Mhm.
know. I just like I said, I got enough on my plate anyway. That's why like if I'm liking it, I'll stay and watch. If I'm not, I'll fast forward and just keep on going because there's enough shit
Yeah.
out there for me to watch that I do enjoy.
I watch GCW. I'll see some highlights of WWE, and I gave up on AEW. So that's, I mean, I'm down to highlights of WWE and GCW. Oh, and throw in some random. I'll watch some of the other ones that nobody likes watching. All the
All
rebels.
right. We are now at the main event of GCW No Compadre, as it is the returning to the Indies Mustafa Ali going against Gringo Loco. I was so happy for Gringo to A, get this match against Ali, and B, it happened in Chicago. Then C, I found out at the end that he was one of his trainers that I had no idea, which was a very cool thing. So that made it all like that, wrapped the bow around it. So glad for Gringo to get this match. Seeing Ali and the smile that he has on the face, the creative freedom that he has, you could just see that he's excited what he's going to be able to do with no one telling him what to do. And I'm excited to see it because I heard some of the ideas that he had for Retribution and some of the other shit that kind of never really happened with his character. And I think he's one of those creative ones. Like I said to this bunch earlier, this podcast, that this group of release wrestlers are very creative and I think are good in the ring and it's different in the ring, where I think they're going to provide a lot of stuff on the independents. And seeing Ali having that smile, knowing that's his future, I thought was awesome to see. And yeah, they delivered a great main event. Ali showed up, showed out. There's no ring rust at all. And Gringo held his own, and I enjoyed this match. It was a great way to end the Talia Hall show with two Chicago legends, I'm going to call them, tearing the house down.
What I liked was Perch reffing in the main event. That was nice to see also. Big Perch fan. I'm a big Galt fan too, but I just like to see that it wasn't Galt. It was somebody different for once. So good job for Perch to getting out there and being in that main event. Great choice for a main event. Both wrestlers fighting out of Chicago. That really made it special for the fans. I've also realized something about Gringo that I'd never noticed before. He's one of the few luchas who can wrestle their match paced without rushing. I've seen Pagano and several others. Pagano's not as much lucha, high flying and stuff anymore, but he has a pace to him that I really do enjoy. So, all right. And then lastly, I just think it was a very good match. So I'm going to leave that there. Looks like my partner has went off on me for a second. So I am going to just stay here and do my thing. Hey,
My
look
bad.
at that.
I thought
No,
you
you're good,
carried
brother.
for a second or two, man.
No, I
No,
did. I did. Actually, I just started to well up and tear up. I was getting ready to cry, and then you came back just in time. No, I just basically said that, it was two Chicago guys, Purchase on the thing. Everybody did a great job. Um, Gringo Loco has a nice pacing to him where really it's just fire, fire, fire off, fire off. And for him, it just seems like he can have a well-paced lucha match without setting the house on fire in 2 minutes. He can do a slow burn over 18. So yeah, that's what I had to say about that.
I was happy to see like also Ali wrestle without the shackles of the WWE wrestling style. Like he got to do whatever he
Yeah.
wanted to, and it was fun. It was fun seeing the innovative stuff that he has.
Oh yeah, what is somebody saying over here? We got on AEW. Yeah, Tony Storm's doing some interesting things right now. What it is to me is just everything seems kind of dorky, or everything seems, what it is I don't know what it is. It's just when I tune in, I'm like, that's fucking stupid, and I turn it off. Like, there's the jokes are dumb. I think it feels like it's just a group of friends. So I'm watching a group of friends, not yeah. Um, I started watching
You already
WWE
know
again. I know. I feel so bad.
I'm biased here on AEW, so I'm gonna let you guys talk it out.
No. I just yeah, AEW. Yeah, Tony's doing something special over there. I appreciate it. I think Mariah May needs to be put there right beside her because they both have matching personalities, and they're both extremely outgoing. And I think that works really well for both of them. So I'm looking forward to that aspect of it. Let's see. Yeah. Young
I like
Bucks.
everything AEW is doing. Don't talk shit.
For me, the Young Bucks situation, they're just not good heels. And for some reason, they come off trying. And I don't want them to be trying. I want them to be themselves, which is just fantastic physical workers. It's very interesting and very forced. And I don't want it to be forced because PWG Young Bucks didn't have any, they didn't have to put on fake mustaches, and they didn't have to do that shit. They just had to go out and light the stage up, or light the ring up. And why not do that now? No need to add an extra layer because nobody believes you're a bad guy. You know what I mean? We know they're Christian guys. They're really nice. They go to church, and I mean, like, come on. So
I just love their over cockiness of characters, but it does. I can see how it gets
it
overplayed and kind of boring after a.
I feel that they may be overly cocky. I think that might be what some people
Absolutely.
see. And
Oh yeah.
that's where I think the difficulty comes in from people. I think that's why people don't like it is they go, "Oh, they're in a fortunate position and they're cocky about it." And nobody really likes that, unfortunately.
I think that's
Um
what kind of leads into the perfect heel character. That's why they're doing it though. That's just me.
I feel like if they're growing a plant, they've got the light, they've got the water, they got the dirt, they forgot the nutrients. And I mean, they're missing one. If they get that one, whatever it is, just like I was saying with Blake Christian, I have this whole thing with Blake Christian. But if he just had a storyline and a purpose, a stated purpose, I could tag along for a little while longer. So yeah, I don't know. I'm like I said, I'm a big body guy from WWF days. So for me, I kind of have WWF in me. So that's I don't know. Do we have the best GCW podcast of I don't know about that. Cuz let me be fair
Was there?
with you. You're talking to someone who's also in the room who's the founding member of the GC Dub podcast, GCDUB podcast, Jennifer Smith. So we actually do have two GCW podcasts in here. And FYI, we actually work together. So if there's anything, I've always been back. I don't want to say backdoored by Jenny, but if somebody needs to get a hold of me, I've had a DM by somebody will come over and I'll say, hey, or if I need to give advice about something, I'm saying, hey, this or that. Um, yeah, I try to make sure I be as helpful as possible because we both started at the ground level with nothing. We're just like, all right, we're on love. Both of us knew, both them and us knew from the beginning, we're not getting rich. We're doing it because we love it. We're doing it for fun. As soon as I found out about their podcast, we made sure that we went over and connected with them as soon as possible. From day one, I've always thought that the internet is big enough for everyone, and there wasn't a lot of content out there for GCW fans. And we're
I
still
want more
fighting to
people
put
to cover
more
it.
content on.
Yep.
Yes,
I want
because you
more
can create a
voices and
small
eyes.
network.
Yeah, they ain't.
Yep,
This
more.
place is big enough for multiple voices, multiple opinions, multiple eyes and ears. Like we ain't fighting over nothing. Trust me. Like we're all working together, help spreading the GCW love and giving our opinions. That's all it pretty much is.
And outside of being me being like a little cunty tonight a little bit here, yeah, everything is kept fairly positive. What's going on is basically a lot of the fans know each other. The wrestlers all know each other. The fans and the wrestlers commingle a lot with each other. So it's a big family. And we're going to have outliers that get into arguments with each other and stuff like that, but overall a lot of us fell in love with ECW and we see what GCW is, what they're capable of and where they could go. So that's why they seem to be very popular with people around that 35 to 40 age group. They're just we know what we're watching and the young kids just don't get it, and that's what's kind of sad. So hopefully before it's too late they get it also and are able to really enjoy it with us because the library GCW is putting together is absolutely entertaining and fantastic. So who knows? Bizzard, I'm gonna tell you something. This is another one. I really actually think once I got on Twitter, especially, I think Twitter is smaller than most people state. I do think there's a lot of bots on here. I mean, I've got all these followers, right? I can guarantee probably a sixth of them or so are gonna just be bots, just made up shit, people with just profiles trying to sell pictures of themselves, like just simple shit. So I do wonder about that. But yeah, if you sift through it, you're gonna see there's like a core 40 or 50 of us, maybe. And if you know those core 40 or 50 in that circle, you've pretty much got the core of the GCW fan base. You have your ones on East Coast that you get to know. We have our ones on the West Coast that kind of do our thing.
I can name
Yeah.
about 20 fans at every show I'm watching. Like, yeah, I can literally name them by like their internet or Twitter names and stuff. Like, there's that person, there's that person.
Yep. I know his podcast. I know that podcast. We go to shows. People are like, "What's up, dude? How you doing?" We're talking to people. It's getting to a point to where at some of these shows, we know good chunks of the front rows. Like I can just look around and just I know him, I know him, I know him. Like it's really fun after a while because you get to just be like, "Hello, man, what's up? Hello, what's up?" I mean, you've said four hellos before you got to your seat. It's kind of cool. So, Yeah, another guy, Kenny, the vest guy, who is always at all the shows. They had the issues with the one guy over at, I forget what it's called. And I told him, I'm like, dude, you don't have to deal with stuff like that in wrestling. Like, you can come over to GCW. The fans will treat you wonderfully. And he's such a good guy that he fits wonderfully over there because he's loud like us and he likes to cheer and say shit. So, yeah. But anyway,
All right. Should we head into?
I think.
Yeah. Did that put a bow on? Did that put a bow on No Compadre?
Yeah. Is it okay if I take like a 2-minute break?
Yep.
Even if I just
I'm gonna say we're gonna
stuff
put
in?
we'll put a 5-minute break on and we will back and try to crank through 56 Birdz if you want here soon.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we'll crank through that one nice and quick too, just to do our thing. But yeah, anybody who's here, man, stick in. We'll be back in 5 minutes or so that'll be it.
5 minutes. Yep. All right. We are back here. I am back here. At least he's got a couple more minutes, but it's all good. Here he comes, rolling on back. Biz. Hey, Biz. Yeah, we need you out here. I got space for you. Come out here. Come. AEW even come out here for Double or Nothing. We got that whole weekend. You come AEW weekend. I got 10 shows for you. We're going to 10 different wrestling shows that weekend. So
Bro, you get out to Vegas and we're going to talk because you can have a blast out here. You do not have to go to the strip and spend a ton of money. You just go hang out with some people. It's fun.
yes. All right. Here we go. Now we are starting GCW's 56 Birdz from Columbus, Ohio, from the Valleydale Ballroom. And this was a shorter card, smaller card. I like the venue. I do like seeing the plants and the lights and the curtains and like the little, it kind of reminds me a little bit like the Don Quixote Center, but like a little bit fancier and it's kind of spruced up. But I like the little feel of the ballroom there. And GCW always tends to make it even look better, especially on the stage. And yeah, the first match of the night is another GCW tag title defense from Violence is Forever. Once again, going against Bang and Matthews, but also now adding a third team of John Wayne Murdoch and Reed Bentley. And interesting that those two get added to the match. Like, I'm kind of glad they did add a third team. It is nice to see the Rejects back. I just kind of interested in how they were thrown into this match, but throwing in a little variety, a lot of different styles in this match, creating for a stylistic difference. And yeah, I thought it was another good title defense, and it was a nice, quick, easy match, I think, though, compared to the title defense before from Violence is Forever.
Okay, I'm not going to lie. You're going to hate me. I put in this was not much of an opener. It wasn't as exciting as, say, a Scramble. And the heels shouldn't come out to sing along music. So, like I said, that's where I was saying earlier. I don't know if they're going to be heels, if they're going to be this, if they're going to be that. That's all I really put on the match. I know there was a lot going on here, but
they could stay heels.
Much bigger.
They could stay heels with that music.
Yep.
Cut it off right before the sing-along part. Don't give the fans the benefit of the doubt. But every time they've done that so far, they've done that to them a couple times, cut it off before the sing-along. You see them get mad and like, oh, come on, we want to sing along with the fans. Like, no, I think the same way. Like, hey, if you're going to stay that badass, you don't get that fucking sing-along part. Fuck you guys. Right. But if they are being faces, they show the anger part. But I've noticed that the last couple title defenses of theirs, you kind of like wait for, I think even Dominic goes, let's see if we hear it this time kind of thing.
Uh-huh. Yeah, the Rejects were back at it, though. So I was happy to see them back together. The Bang and Matthews situation, I hope they get a name. I really hope it's not Bang and Matthews. It just doesn't, I don't know. There's got to be, maybe they could be the Bang Bus or something. Like, they could be something else, I'm sure. No, they'd probably get sued for that, too.
I'm about to say, they're probably going to get sued for a lot of things if they keep that word bang in anything.
I don't know. They're not going to be able to bang anywhere. They're going to have to find a new name, though, because right now with what's going on with them, their name just looks like alt. Their name looks like the alternate name. Like, they couldn't have their original name. The best way for them to come back from this is to come back with a strong team name. Find one.
Yeah, come up, reinvent yourself kind of thing. I do think that's a good part. Like when they get these cease and desist letters. Like, I like when they do kind of make fun of it and play off of it for a while. But yeah, I think at this point, they're such a young, good tag team and probably have a big future in the business. Like, yeah, come up with something that's more main event or even like the Violence. There's a lot of creative names out there. Waves and Curls, like they could come up with something, even if they want to play along those same lines, which I kind of get. I don't know how big they're into keeping that kind of thing, but they're creative enough. I think they could do some stuff with that name and still kind of get away with it.
So instead of the Bang Brothers, they could be Boom and Pow. Like, bang, boom, pow. Fuck it. I'm so sorry. As the evening goes on, guys.
That's why I was like, looking at the time, I was like, we still got this second show. We gotta go.
No, we got this. We're gonna do this.
Yeah,
okay. That's pretty much all that I had.
It was a short match.
Our winners in that one were Violence is Forever.
Yeah, this one is going to go through to a lot of short matches anyway. So yep. Next match is, as we were talking about earlier, Oni El Bendito, sorry, going against Jack Cartwheel. I wanted to see Bendito in a one-on-one match, and this was more of the line, as you said. This was kind of what I think they wanted to showcase, or what he wanted to showcase in LA, but unfortunately, due to whatever circumstances, was not able to do so. But I think this weekend he definitely showed out. This matchup was good. Jack Cartwheel, the Gringo Loco, like Jack Cartwheel is a trophy of Gringo Loco, man. All the teaching that he did for Jack Cartwheel and helping him out in Mexico with AAA and the lucha stuff. Cartwheel is just on another level now. Like him and Ninja Mac, it's so cool seeing their growth. So I'm still seeing Ninja Mac videos like getting popular today because of some shit that he did a couple months ago that we used to see him do on a weekly basis in GCW. So anytime Jack Cartwheel and Ninja Mac get credit out and away from the GCW crowd and into the more mainstream media, I am rooting for. And this was a good match, but Bendito, this was one specifically made for him, and he picked up the victory in this match.
I'm drinking apple juice. I wanted to make that clear. I was
I
asked
thought you were
about it.
Leo Machida.
Yeah, this is not urine. This is not
you know,
anything.
I'm glad you
I'm
caught
not.
that one.
Yeah, I'm not trying. Not trying to beat any urine tests or anything either. This is just, yeah. Yeah, so they were called the Bang Brothers, since anyone had somebody, yeah, Bizzard was asking about that. Okay, so yeah, Oni Bandito, like I said, nice pickup from that first match. The second match really did set it off a lot better. I don't know what's been going on, but GCW has been redefining how exciting a second match on a card could be, because they really haven't been letting off the gas on these second matches anymore. This has been a trend for at least 6 to 8 months now. But yeah, this was a wonderful pickup. El Bandito was impressive at times. He has good strength, height, nasty looking backbreaker. That's what he ended up using for the win there. And I'm ready to see more of him. I want to see what he's more capable of. I'm kind of stuck for words because he's brand new to me. So I'm waiting to see what else is going on. But I would have loved to see Bandito team up with, say, Commander or Vikingo and be a tag team, because I think they would have worked well in their own arenas and still fit together properly.
Oh, I just saw that backbreaker again. Good Lord. That
That was
is
the finisher,
rough.
baby.
Man, that was rough. I actually was going
Right?
to say something about Kingo and Commander, more Commander from Bendito, the last card we just covered just now. I was going to say, like, maybe I wonder if he's going to be the one that steps through as the next Commander of Vikingo. And he's got some size on him, though. Like, man, he's just, I don't know. I just expected smaller, obviously, maybe because Lucha, but he's just monstrous over Jack Cartwheel in this match, and
Mm-hmm.
that finisher was brutal. Yeah, that's something different with that Lucha that I do want to see. He does provide something interesting and unique that we haven't seen as of late from the Lucha, and I think that's why the Lucha's been killing in GCW as of late.
Not only that, he pulls out the win. Oniel
Yes.
Bendito over Jack Cartwheel in a little over 8 minutes.
Oh, his head, is it face paint? No, it's a mask. I see the mask. Okay, because he had like
Yeah.
GCW like on the back of the mask, but it looked like it was face paint there for a minute. Um, I don't want to get away from this, even though we've mentioned it every single time. But still, shout out to Ivan J Media, GoPro, and all the videos that they show between these matches. It's just seamless. It just fits right in. It's beautiful. But I'm watching one again now, and I just wanted to make sure that we give a shout out, because that has been, I think, a great value added to the live streams for the fans watching at home. All right,
I agree with
next.
you. I'm sorry, it's
I'm about to
getting
say,
later.
GoPro Billy might be watching. You better, you better say yes. You root for him.
No, hell yeah, actually, and I know where you got that from. It's right from the heart. We actually both say the
Yeah,
same damn things and believe the same damn things, and
because
we
we
just
asked
see
for it
everyone's
before they did it,
That's right.
and
So
they've been killing it. I think Ivan making the videos too has been a great like video. Been making great videos to fit perfectly spots in the cards to fit in between the matches. I do have exciting news to tell you regarding some additions to the podcast after the show
okay,
that will be a very exciting
excellent.
to see. I just found out midway during the podcast.
Oh, awesome.
All right.
Yeah. Oh, go for it.
No, I was just going to the next match.
You're right. Man, I feel like I'm off tonight. I haven't like, yeah. All right. We got this, brother. I got this.
All right, next tag team match is
Okay.
the team of Rich and Powerful, Charles Mason and Richard Holiday, going against PME, Marino Tenaglia and Philly Collins. Cool seeing Rich and Powerful. I think that's at a cool little addition and great addition to the tag division if they want to keep it going as a team. Richard Holiday fits perfectly. I said I was kind of hoping this would happen, and they did put it perfectly. And I think Holiday and Mason have a lot to offer, and I still think maybe they could team up with Blake and kind of create an even more rich and powerful kind of idea. But um, yeah, good tag team. PME did their job. I don't know. I didn't really get too behind or see too much from PME on this match, in my opinion. But yeah, this was more for to show off Mason and Mason and Richard, and that's exactly what it did. And it was good for that purpose.
Well, I'm going to keep my notes short. I'm going to just love the fact that PME came out to Susudio from Phil Collins. That was just lovely. And then I really wrapped up the match quickly because it felt like it was short just because the way it went. Let's see, 8.5 minutes. Yeah. So, and also this was the first time for us seeing Rich and Powerful as a team in their first match, correct? This is the first time since they've okay, yeah.
Sorry, yeah, sorry. This is I was muted. Yeah, this is the first time.
Yeah, so I mean they were booked very strong. I would primarily say the heels just squashed the locals. I don't know if there's a better way to really put that. But yeah, if there's anything I remember from PME, it's going to be the fact that they come out to one of my favorite songs from the 80s.
But I didn't even recognize the song, so I didn't even catch that part. So I didn't come away too much from PME, but my focus wasn't really on them. All right, next matchup is Broski Jimmy with Steph DeLander going against one called Manders. This is where I said I'm afraid of what's going to happen with Manders with this SGC fighting. And I think this was fine though because it kind of adds to him being distracted of why he lost it to even more distractions with STL in Broski Jimmy's um corner, and I think that kind of helped keep Mander strong, but also ties into his struggle of what's going on around him, while also giving another victory to Jimmy Lloyd here. I think was a good booking in my opinion. I know it sounds weird and like it was kind of looks weird on paper, but I think it made in my mind made a lot of sense for everyone involved and kind of little hints of what could be coming in the future from all three competitors or all three in this match.
Yeah, I was saying that Lloyd had more of a heel persona than previously. That was the one thing I could see. He was almost enjoying things more than usual when he was going through his motions there. Also, SDL was constantly interfering and it cost Manders the match. So I don't know how this is all going to go down because we have the weird love thing behind the scenes where everybody's kind of intermingled with this boyfriend and girlfriend thing. And then we have this going on with their careers all fucked up. I'll be honest with you, they maybe should have a TV show between about 8 people on GCW's roster, and they would have enough drama to cover for years.
Total Divas Indeed version.
Oh, jeez. Yeah,
I'd
please.
pay to see that though. I don't want to. I'd rather see Mance Warner and all those people than I would see in the Usos and shit like that. I want to see Mance Warner with unfiltered on a Total Divas show.
Total Divas GCW style. Oh yeah, it oh gosh, it could happen. Chances are it happens all the time and we're just not there to see it. Anyway,
Right.
our winners in that one, our winner in that one was Broski Jimmy with Steph DeLander.
All right, next matchup is a 6-person tag match as we have Los Macisos teaming with Rina Yamashita going against the team of, I love the name, The Price is Right. Jeffrey
Yes.
John, Braden Toon, and Alec Price. I love the team. I'm glad they're getting creative with it. I've always loved like the old broke and non-respected old folks and stuff like that. I love those bullshit names. This was a good match. I think this was a filler match to kind of it was a lot of action, a lot of fan favorites, but I think it was a filler match. Obviously, there's no story involved in give the talent showcase, and I think it was a entertaining match. Not much really to add other than it did have its spots. I think a comedy as well in there.
I mean, I'm looking at it as they blew through a lot of fan favorites in one very, very quick 10-minute match. That's one way of looking at it right there, because I mean, just watching an Alec Price match is fantastic. Watching Braden Toon do anything is fantastic. Rena is a champion, Los Macisos former champions. That just wow, and they threw them all together in one match. So yeah, it was just as exciting as I had expected, but it still had a lot of comedy and a small amount of weapons, just enough to keep it interesting in my eyes. So in the end, though, Los Macisos and Rina Yamashita come out with the win.
I like that. The stylistic of when it got the weapons involved, I was like, I wasn't expecting too much weapons, but when I saw a couple of them come out, I was like, oh, I wonder who's going to be taking these bumps.
Yeah, it's really rare. You don't really see Alec doing too much with weapons.
Exactly.
I
That's what I
still
was
have
kind of
yet to
curious on.
see. Yeah, and then I have yet to see much with Braden Toon yet, but I haven't seen as much, anything with him. Jeffrey John, I'm not sure if he want to gets his babushka wet, but honestly, I haven't seen him in any type of a hardcore match yet. So I didn't expect that right out the gate, because I think with Los Macisos and Rena being faces, they would have looked like heels if they would have bloodied up the Price is Right team.
I think you would have got the cheap pop though. The fans, we want tables, like we want doors. Give them the doors. All right, next matchup, man. I'm kind of disappointed it didn't last longer, but I hope we do get more
Mm.
matches between these two. Myron Reed and Leo Rush. Two once again, Leo Rush has had a all-star weekend for me. Myron Reed and Nick Wayne, like that's you can't get top of line of especially like styles matchups for Leo Rush. Like he has a certain way, and Myron Reed is like the perfect, like as you said, the explosiveness with the strength, the creativity in some of their moves. Like man, these two clicked perfectly. I loved it. Leo's step, like he's showing a different version. Like I've ever since New Japan did something to him, I think it reinvigorated, as I think he even said, reinvigorated his soul in wrestling because he's now not just focusing on his moveset. He's being smarter about it. He's being more collective in the ring and kind of more diabolical and planning out the next steps. And that's what I like to see. The kind of the oh my god, what they used to call Triple H all the time, the cerebral assassin kind of stuff. Like
Yep.
I love seeing Leo Rush not just focus on his God-given talent, which is amazing, but now he's evolving his wrestling. And I think that's where the New Japan, that stylistic and that wrestling, as we talk about with the War Dogs, helped Leo Rush or helped the War Dogs grow. And I think that's where it's helping Leo Rush grow. That shine through in this match. But Myron Reed, another step up, another great showcase weekend for him. Joey Janela and Leo Rush, man, he stepped to the up to the plate and had two great matches. And I'm actually shocked. I'll do a spoiler. He ended up picking the victory up on Leo Rush, and that kind of blew my mind as well. So,
Mm-hmm.
once again, great matchup. Loved seeing it, and love seeing those two go at it with each other.
Well, I knew you were really in love with this match because it had two of your favorites in it,
This
and
was my match of the night.
yeah, I kind of figured that's where this one was going to go. Anyway, um, I could tell something in this match, and you have to kind of really pay attention to it. But both of them very well. You could see that they weren't very familiar with each other in ring. I don't know if you noticed that or not, but both of them are generally a little more smooth. And when there were times to pick up to transition to this and that, very little subtleties, about four or five of them where I went, I don't think he's familiar with that move, or oh, I don't think he knows how to do that one, or you know what I mean? Because everybody has their own things. And that's the only thing I could pick up on that I found interesting. Otherwise, to me, I thought it was a great match. I'm just keeping it short. So
I think they
yeah,
maybe like played it off where I didn't even notice, like how you said, maybe they
check it
had
out.
the. Yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
have to go back check because like I think whenever I see those things, especially with these two, I just assume like, hey man, you got speed against speed. It's like shit's gonna happen. Like you're
Mm-hmm.
gonna bump
Yeah.
into each other. Something's gonna happen. But like I didn't notice it. I know I
Yeah.
want to see a lot more of these two. Like even as a tag team, that would be fun to see.
Yeah, fantastic match. Go back and pay attention to handwork, especially between the both of them for communication when they're trying to wrap up and everything else. And you're going to see, oh, wow, like, huh. Anyway, that was, trust me, that was the pickiest that I could have said of either of these, because outside of that, a non trained eye wouldn't have seen shit. So it's like, it's being really picky though. Um, that's all I have to say about that one, really.
Yeah, I just want to shout
I
out
just
Dave
want to see it
Prazak.
again.
Yeah, want to shout Dave Brazek for saying we want to see Myron Reed at GCW again. Like he's
Yes.
definitely the crowd was definitely behind him. I think he could go out west. I mean he was out west during the collective. I was so happy to see him during collective weekend even.
Yeah.
And I think he was in one of the four culture bets at the tag match if I'm not mistaken. Oh no, he was in the title match near the end. I forgot. Sorry, it was like a 4-way match. Anyway, I just love seeing Myron Reed, and I do want to see him more in GCW, but also, as we were saying earlier, Impact and other independents all across the United States. Next, oh my God, I'm just looking at the match rating on this. I got beat up here. Joey Janela going against and defending the Extreme title against Microman. I thought it was everything I thought it was going to be. I wasn't expecting anything more. Actually, I think this match kind of went on more than I kind of expected, but then I also wasn't putting it out of Joey's mind of having like a 30-minute kind of match with Microman just to kind of say he did it. But I liked it. Joey, between selling for Ricky Berwick and now Microman, like he does whatever he can to make whoever is doing the work with him make him look good. And as he did in Myron Reed and those two, this was another good one for Joey.
All right. So Max Recon, the tallest referee available, was used for this match. I thought that was good. I also wanted to say that there was a great job by Emil for Spanish announcing during the beginning of this match. The the crowd turned on Joey once he attacked Microman. Like we all knew that was coming. Joey could have come in there with angel wings on. If he would have just touched Microman, he would have instantly been the devil. The real magic in this match was the innovative ways that they adapted to wrestle each other. There was a nice spot where Joey got drop kicked by Microman through a door. Joey did win though. He gets hit in the nuts by Microman. Joey goes down. Max then comes over to check, turns to the crowd, says that's a small problem after the pinch with the bug on the fingers. Did you see any of this? Okay, so here's what happens. Joey gets hit.
I
in the
saw him go
nuts by
down. I didn't see him
Microman.
do the hand. Sorry.
Yeah, then Max comes over to check on him and he puts his fingers up like this and he goes, "It's a small problem." It's like, oh,
Okay, I'm on that part. I gotta rewind it.
yeah. You'll hear him go, "It's a small problem."
Jesus. Oh my God. Yeah, they're out of control.
Dude, I'm telling you, 100%. I don't know if you have or not, but if you watch the show with headphones on, you pick up so much awesome stuff.
Yeah.
And Steph agrees too. My wife, she agrees too. She's like, you feel like more like you're there. So
Yeah.
I kind of like that a lot.
Yeah, Joey's
Our
solid.
winner, by the way, I forgot, was Joey Janela.
With the super kick to the face of Michael. I couldn't know how to name it. I was gonna say shin kick, super kick. I don't know. All right. Next match, another fun surprise, and even though it was short, I thought it kind of did its job and was nice seeing both on my screen and against each other. Joshua Bishop against a returning Hoodfoot. Did not expect to see Hoodfoot anytime soon in a GCW ring. And I kind of semi-pop seeing Hoodfoot. I was like, whoa, that's him. Yes, let's go. Then I was like, Bishop, is this going to get kind of violent and crazy? And yeah, I'm Bishop. Yeah, Bishop is something else. He's baby Sid. But I was glad to see Hoodfoot back. Now, if Hoodfoot's back, I wouldn't mind seeing him involved in this ultra violent title if he's going to be around a lot more often. Like how he was doing before he took this long break from GCW. I think he could be a nice addition again to the extreme or ultraviolet title.
Okay, again, I'm in heaven. We have a weapons heavy match between two big men. I'm done. Done. I don't have to even hear anymore. Half the time that qualifies for good for me. I know sometimes my bar is set low. That's okay though. Hoodfoot was slammed on chairs back first. That spot never gets easier for me to watch. I don't know what the hell it is, but it just hits home. I don't know if I fell on a chair the wrong way one time or something when I was a kid, but holy shit. I don't know how those guys do that spot where they fall on their back right where no, like come on, you have to care a little bit for your spine. Like how you're going to feel that when you're 70, bro. Anyway,
70, you're gonna feel that the next day, man. I don't know. Like when they take those ones, like unless they hit us perfect, even then I'm like still out. But then I'm also like when I used to wrestle, like I swear to God, the best back crack I ever had was running into the turnbuckle. Just running into the turnbuckle, going all out, my back every time. It was the best feeling ever. Like that's why, like sometimes like some of these moves, like I'm like, hey, like I know that helps out, like a good back crack, a nice little stretch, but then you gotta realize, yeah, you're landing on chairs, and that's no good. So, Bishop Hoodfoot, nice quick match, and I am glad to see Hoodfoot in, and glad to see Bishop on 2 shows that are GCW proper.
Here, young man. And to finish up, I have to say that Josh Bishop picks up the win over Hoodfoot in a quick 6 minutes.
And that will lead us into the main event of 56 Birdz. I actually was kind of surprised this was the main event. I was like when it ended abruptly, I was like, whoa, did I miss something? Like what happened?
Well, we did have something in between the last match and the main event. We had the contract signing.
Oh yeah,
between
my bad.
Effie and Mance Warner. Effie came out. He looked great. He had teal shoes. And that's when we heard Pantera. Mance came out to Pantera. I heard some George South in his heel work once he got to the ring there. He got on the mic and, did his thing. Effie signed. He challenges Mance. Effie is then eventually attacked from behind with a screwdriver that Mance had in his pants, I believe, or his boot. But he ends up beating the shit out of Effie and signs the contract in Effie's blood.
Blood. That's why I picked the red for Blackward for the background tonight, because all that blood.
I've been white. I need to change it up. What color should I change it to?
Blood. Or whatever's about to be finished, the red line. Yeah, red line, because we're almost done here on the main event. I can't believe I forgot about I didn't have it in my notes, because I just figured that was gonna be something we talked about. But yeah, I didn't have the the contract signing in my notes. But I loved it. That was just old school. Man, and I thought, because I do, like I said earlier, I don't think, as you think there's going to be a series of matches. I think Tampa is going to be kind of a red herring kind of a thing to lead into kind of a bigger match at the Collective. So when Mance Warner was saying like, no, I'm not doing this on my time, I was kind of happy. I was like, that makes sense. No, Mance Warner wants the pay window. He wants the biggest payday. He wants that match at Collective because it's going to be the biggest one. And when he quickly jumped Effie from behind, I was like, that fit in perfectly on Effie's promo, because you can't attack him. You can't face him or do anything face to face. So I loved it. It was old school, got to the point. They both told a good story. And I think I guess there is going to be a match now, but I think the way this promo was, it has to be a good big match coming up after it, because that's just the way that promo felt. Like you wouldn't have done that promo for a bullshit match to set up another one, because then how are you going to make that big match feel special? I think this was a big one, so I'm interested to see what happens in Tampa. Maybe, I don't know, like literally I don't know what's going to happen between now and Collective, and I think that's fun. Tampa is going to have a lot of fun stuff. AJ Francis, Joey. LA is going to be nuts, and I think that's going to be kind of chaotic. Phoenix is first time ever there. They sold out the place. They're going to get one hell of a show, and it's going to be fun. There's a lot of stuff, and I'm just interested to see where it all goes, because maybe Mance Warner and Effie does happen at Tampa, and that's it. But I highly doubt it. But who knows?
Me too. I highly doubt it. There's a lot of build going on here, and I feel like the gun would just go off a little too early. I think there's still a lot to go on here. So we'll see what happens there. Geez, what else can I really add to this? I don't know. They're just putting their whole heart into, giving us a storyline, because we know how starved GCW fans are for a good storyline. And like I said, I just hope they provide a good example for others so that they can start giving us storylines too.
That's what I was about to say. Like, it looks like they are out there to prove a point. Like, hey, fuckers, this is our company. Watch us see how we are going to take back our company, and how, as you said, we want to set the example of what you guys need to start doing to follow our footsteps, to elevate this company when we aren't here, or hey, to help us elevate it, because we aren't going to be here all the time. Because as we see, they would go to Wrestling Revolver and all these other companies all the time. Still, they are the GCW regulars. We see them the most, but I think that's what I'm feeling with this match. And Mance Warner and Effie's like totally stepping up, and I think they're taking ownership of this one. And this is their chance that they've both been asking for, and they both don't want to drop the ball. So I really kind of think both maybe felt pushed off to the side as of late, as they kind of said, man, with all these new toys, the new flavor of the months. That's why we get, that's why I love this whole story. It's stuff that we've kind of been saying that I think I've been saying, I feel that SGC's been kind of having happen to them, or Mance Warner or the regulars in GCW. And this is the culmination of, nope, we're fighting it and taking it back. And it's going to be fun to see.
Well, he stated and created a purpose for himself. And because of that, he created a niche inside the card just for himself that's engaging. Now he's putting videos online throughout the week that's engaging the fans. He's cutting promos and keeping his storyline moving at all times. These types of things are what keeps you out in the media throughout the week until your next performance. Let's be honest, there's a lot of performers. I mean, outside of posting pictures of, say, going to here, going to there, they're never really truly promoting themselves that much. And like I said before, we've talked about this extensively. Picking up your phone and cutting a 1 minute, 2 minute promo is not going to be too much to do.
They're promoting the name, not the character of like what people are behind on in the character. Like they're just out there, you said, posting their name. I'm going to be at this company. I'm going to be there. Like your name's going to be there, but what are you doing there? Like, as you said, that even I got so into Mason because of House of Glory, of the stuff that he was making on House of Glory. And same thing with Cardona, the videos that they've been making for other promotions. Like it's like, that's what gets me involved and gets me into now checking out House of Glory shows and other companies. So it is nice seeing Mance Warner step up to stepping up and doing that. I wonder if they will play it in, as we were kind of talking about earlier, all these people and everything behind the scenes, like how much influence Cardona had on Warner, if they're going to like play it out on TV or something like that because of SDL's influence with Mance Warner.
Given who he hangs around with outside of the company, within GCW though, within GCW talent, he'd be dumb not to learn. So, I mean, given his friends and who hangs around Cardona and whatnot, he's had a wonderful opportunity to learn everything Cardona's had a chance to throw towards anybody. And I'm sure Cardona has more to give. So, I think Effie and Manser definitely have a very clear understanding of what they're trying to do, how they're trying to do it, and why they're trying to do it. And I believe what they're trying to do is, in the end, make more compelling wrestling, which in the end means more people will watch, which means more money comes in the door down the road, and so on and so forth.
And I think they're doing it through storytelling, not the fucking in-rings moves. And I love it because that is Mance Warner to the core.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think it's a fantastic thing, because if you want to be different in independent wrestling, have a storyline. I'll let that hang for a minute. Seriously. So I'm just letting you know that's one of those things that I thought was just absolutely wonderful. It's so well thought out and it's entertaining. And again, like I said, they have a story that keeps them live in the media all throughout the week. So instead of just chewing on only matches, now fans have these vignettes and things to kind of chew on, and it keeps your name fresh. So, yeah, it's a great marketing move, honestly.
All right, we ready for the main event now? 56 Birdz.
Yeah. I just had to slow us down.
No, you're good. No, I totally forgot. Yeah, no, you're. Like I said, I'm glad you did, because I totally forgot in my notes. Like I just assumed that was something we are going to talk about, so I didn't even write anything on it, because it was. I just knew I know everything on that. It's been awesome. The back and forth online. It's been very cool to see.
So what's killing me is I went downstairs. Sorry, I broke in for a second because I guess I wasn't ready. I went downstairs, and when I went to the kitchen for a minute, I told my wife, I'm like, did you hear? But I guess I kind of look like a Dudley right now. And she started laughing because she was reading that part when she was in here in that part, I guess, and was reading what was going on. And then I go to the mirror and I look and I went, oh my God, I don't know if it's Big Dick Dudley and I just have to get some hair, or if it's I can't maybe Spike Dudley. No. and I started to whittle away on the Dudleys that I could be. So I have a feeling I'm either Bubba or I'm gonna have to be Big Dick Budley but Dudley for Halloween. Dude, you ought
All
to
right,
see.
Biz
I
later.
have a
Thanks for hanging out, man.
I have a whole. Oh, take care, Blizzard. Yeah, I have a whole mankind thing. The hair, the mask. I have the whole outfit. I'll have to show you sometime. It's pretty cool. I was
Throw
gonna
you
use
off a
it
hell
for.
in a cell.
I was gonna. Well, dude, it looks so good. I even got the sock and I did the little happy face thing on the sock. So I have Mr. Saka. All right. Yeah, I think we're ready for the main event now. Jeez,
All
false
right.
alarm.
Main event 56 Birdz is Jonathan Gresham going against Cole Radrick. And I'm going to say it again, but Cole happy, but also in this match focused and knowing what was ahead of him in this match and how big this match is, and totally stylistic compared to Lucha the night before and the technical master that Gresham is. This was going to be a totally change of pace, but I think he was looking at it as a chance, a weekend to show what Cole Radrick is made of. And I think that's what we loved about Cole Radrick is he's creative with innovative with his moves. He could get vulture violent when he needs to, when he needs to go high flying or do some crazy shit, he can. But I think one of the strong parts of his game is the groundwork. And with him having the chance to show it off against Gresham in this match, I think he came in focused. He wasn't like he smiled at the beginning, but then as soon as he got in that ring, like there was the introductions and everything. He even got the wristbands. He was a totally different Cole Radrick, a focused but confident Cole Radrick, and I think that's shined through this whole match. He held his own with Jonathan Gresham. He did really good. He even showed like Gresham some of like his counters, which I really liked. And Gresham once again made Cole look like $1,000,000 with the facial reactions and his selling. I think that's why I love Gresham is he's more old school with like the nana nana boo boo and the shit like that to kind of taunt the opponents. But Cole, this was a great weekend for him, and I'm glad, very glad he got the main event in this match. Or this show, sorry.
Again, I'm going to keep it brief. Yeah, Cole looked absolutely wonderful in this match, and this main event, even online, he was like, "This really has been a positive thing more for me." He really feels good about the fact that he's in the position where he can have a main event match with John Gresham. Um, that's really a lot of it. I was going to have you do all the speaking that you wanted to on Gresham because for me, I'm a little like he's not my style as much. So that's why I figured I'd let you do the speaking on him. And then for me, I just let you know what I was thinking about Cole. It's just everything's on an upward trajectory for Cole. So I'm happy to see him going that way. And then Gresham, looking ready to see him come back. I'm curious to see who his next GCW opponent would be.
If he's like, if they could get him for like a couple shows in a row, I want to see him in a storyline, man. Like I think he could do him and Leo, like same thing. If they could, like, are going to be on a couple shows in a row, as we always talk about all these things, we want to see stories. But yeah, I think Gresham stepped up. He really did a great job. Cole, like I think, was a perfect foil for opponent for him in this match because he did really good and was able to do a lot of the stuff that Gresham tends to lie on to make himself look good. But that's a lot of falls on the opponent. Gresham, he just looks amazing as always. Love it. He brought back the octopus mask. Like, this is Jonathan. Like him and Leo Rush are kind of the same. Like, I get now that I'm not in the business, but know more about the behind the scenes and kind of everything that goes on. I get why they need to take those breaks. It sucks because you get so looking forward to them because they're building so much momentum. Then they kind of stop their own momentum, and whatever reasons they decide to do, it sucked as a fan. And I used to kind of talk shit about it, but now I'm way more understanding, and I'm just now happy and grateful whenever we do get them. I just enjoy the moment, but I also find myself hoping for more, and that's what always happens when I watch these two.
Okay, I can't beat that. No, that was well said because again, I was gonna, like I said, I wanted you to just speak on Gresham because he's your dude and you haven't seen him in a while, especially in a GCW ring. So I'm like, yeah, let's let him speak on that man's performance because I know if anybody's watched him dance, you are. So
I'm telling you, Gresham, Speedball, and Leo Rush, once they were all in Impact, that was it. That was 3 wrestlers enough for me to start watching Impact again, and they were killing it. And I kind of wish I saw more Rush and Gresham in Impact, and Unfortunately, it doesn't look like that's going to happen. But seeing them on the indies and seeing all these new faces that they get to work with now, it's going to be fun. Gresham versus Nick Namath. Like, I think a lot of people don't or forget or don't know that Namath is like wasn't he like a college wrestler, like D1 college wrestler at like one of
Well,
the,
it's
oh
funny
no, he
you
was day
mentioned
two.
that.
Sorry, he was a D2, but like a star of D2, wasn't it? Like Kent State or something like that.
So
Now
it's
it's all
funny you
clicking in my
mentioned
head.
that. It's funny you mentioned that. So it's funny thing, but very small. But Kent State is a D1 school. Did you
Oh,
know that?
was that right though? He
Yeah,
did go to Kent.
yeah.
Oh,
They
that was
are they
good.
are a D1 school.
Ah,
That's where I went to school.
oh,
I
I didn't
thought I
know that.
told you that. No
No,
shit, huh?
you might
Yeah,
have. I just didn't
yeah.
put two and two together.
Kent State University is in Kent, Ohio. I was there under a music scholarship, and that's where I had went to school for a couple years. I was in the marching band there, and I was in the symphony there, and I did all kinds of little fun music things there. I was there from '98 to like 2000 or so, and he was there right around the same time. We're around the same age. So we are both Kent State Golden Flashes.
Man,
Yes, they
him
are
and
the
Gresham
Golden
could go.
Flashes.
The Golden Flash. Okay, and see, this is just, I'll remember the stupidest shit from wrestling. Like Nick Namath went to Kent State. Like who fuck like
Yep.
remembers any of that stuff?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
So
I just it just clicked in my head.
he rocked at wrestling. He broke a shit ton of records at Kent State.
Yeah. I think him
So
and
I
Gresham
mean,
the ground match. Fuck for if Gresham brings back his Terminus, I would love to see some of these wrestlers wrestle in that Terminus promotion that he was running because it was fun and different as well.
yeah, because I mean, at the same time, then you had the Miz, like a lot of Cleveland people at that time. All three of us, me and Miz,
Oh
and
yeah, okay, that's why I should
yeah,
have
all
known it
those
was in
famous
Ohio
dudes.
because he's best friends with Miz. Yep. I should have known that.
Yeah, yeah. So it's I'll tell you what, it's kind of weird though, but like Indiana, Illinois, Pennsylvania, Michigan, West Virginia, Kentucky, like people like that, I get along with. There's like a vibe. And I swear it's just some weird rednecky regional kind of thing or something, but we all have this same vibe and most of us all get along. It's very interesting. I don't know. Could be the
Sorry.
drugs. I'm not sure. No, I was gonna say it could be the cornfields, but then
That's what I was gonna
it didn't
say.
sound as funny.
But
Yeah.
all right. Well, I don't think I don't know if she said the winner or not. Just in case, Jonathan Gresham picks up the victory over Cole Radrick, but a very game Cole Radrick. Nothing. Cole has nothing to hold his head. He hold his head up high. Nothing to be ashamed of. I actually think he really showed out this weekend with Myron Reed because he showed a bunch of different kind of styles that we really don't see much of from Cole Radrick. All right. Well, we did both shows, review show. It's been a while since we've done an actual review show.
Yeah, and
Instead
I
of
was
just a roundup.
cranky live. I said there are wrestlers that don't even need that. Damn, I was right.
And I think you broke the first breaking news of our podcast.
Well, it was more like I said, I had asked in another wrestler's Twitch thing, and it was just a public thing. It's not some private thing. So he was saying, I was asking, hey,
I think
is this
everybody
person
wants
gonna
to
be
see him
there?
anyway.
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, that's one of the ones that a lot of people had mentioned that they wanted to see at TOS and
NGI, yeah.
yeah, NGI. So yeah, so yeah, if anybody's listening deep, they can find it again. But otherwise, yeah, that was.
We ain't promoting it.
No. We're not going to promote my little rant on about however
Oh,
many that. But there are some wrestlers. It's like we are accepting everyone and all types, and that's fair. But there are some when you get to higher levels that you need to have a certain, like I said, if you're 115 and like you can't backflip or front flip or it's getting rough, I mean, it's okay. You better practice. Don't
this
ever give up, but you
this
better
is where
practice if you're there.
this is why I disagree with you again, man. Some of my favorite
okay.
boxing
That's okay.
fights and UFC fights are the flyweight divisions.
Oh
More
no.
now,
I'm
you're
talking
putting them
wrestling. I'm not
matches.
talking
No,
fight.
I know. No, I'm just saying. Like, I get what you're saying. Though, like, if they're put stylistically with someone close, then I think they could do really good stuff. But when you kind of have these big mismatches, then in wrestling, it's kind of hard sometimes to subdue the realism when it's right there in front of your face, screaming. This doesn't make sense, and I get that point. But I love seeing like the little guys that's like flying back and forth boxing in UFC, man.
I just want it to be believable. So if you're going to be
I get
115, be a muscular 115. If you're going to be 145, be a muscular 140. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
put it on there to say, look, this is me at my best. Not accept me at what I give you, but this is me at my best that I'm sharing with you because I put in the hard work. But again, I'm also a 1980s McMahon big body guy, and that's how I grew up. So I'm going to be this way. I'm old and I'm cranky. Get off my lawn. All
I'm
right.
all over the place, man. Like going back and
Yeah.
watching like
Yeah.
Razor Ramon and Shawn Michaels in that ladder match, like they're like not Shawn Michaels, even Shawn Michaels kind of is taller than a lot of these wrestlers nowadays too that we're
Yep.
talking about with that kind of stuff. But seeing like a guy like Razor Ramon and Shawn Michaels doing some of these crazy moves, not just like ladder match, but like regular moves that we see like the Young Bucks do with like the ropes and how they flip over the ropes. And I don't know, like they were moving, like Razor Ramon as a big person was doing some moves that like I see Young Bucks do and stuff like that. It's just like, whoa, like back then we had those guys that with the size were able to move and do some really good stuff at a size. I kind of miss the bigger, like the Wardlows. Like I love Wardlow doing half the shit that he's doing, like flying off the top rope as a big person, even though it kind of takes away from what makes him kind of popular. I just love seeing them doing different kind of move sets, like Andrew Everett kind of doing the small guy, doing the big person move set.
Yeah.
I do like seeing it as certain things, but yeah, just rewatching that Best of SummerSlam I was watching, it was Shawn Michaels and Razor Ramon ladder match, and that was nuts to seeing those two move at such a bigger size than what these wrestlers are nowadays.
Yeah. I had to be cranky, I guess. Here's what's going on. With so many wrestlers, there should be more stars. Like almost movie stars. There should be some people that even people who don't watch wrestling know their names. It's hard to find that anymore.
Nah,
I'm
you ain't gonna
disappointed
find
in
that
that,
at all anymore.
Isn't that sad? Because
But you think
honestly,
about
it
it, it's
should not
like
be that way.
it's the way with though, like the UFC. You can't name like a big UFC fighter other than like within the last 5 years that like you're gonna
Yeah.
say a name like, yeah, that champion was they were the champion 5 years ago, but not
Yeah,
nowadays.
they'll
Like I
say
think,
like Conor McGregor or somebody they'll
yeah,
mention, like somebody from years ago.
I think combat sports with the day, especially as many ways to and promotions and there are now, it's like wrestling and all the leagues. Like there's so much there where no, like the mainstream, they can't name who's the top person. And like that's crazy. Back in the day, you knew like the top 10 boxers. Everybody, someone off the street would name you the world's
Yes.
top ranked 10 boxers because it was more mainstream. I think it just combat sports in general just be, and I think this kind of goes with the PC and like all the stuff nowadays with the violence, they're moving it away from mainstream. I think that's what is hurting these big names that we consider big names in wrestling to be household names. But I think that's where TV shows like the Miz and Mrs. or Total Divas, or now what I saw the other day, they're going to do one with Montez Ford and Bianca Belair. Like I think that's going to be great for those two because now those two are going to be household names with a lot of different people that never knew their names before and that don't watch wrestling, but now they're just now expose themselves to millions of fans. I think that's when it's kind of good for those wrestlers to get that kind of a promotion.
For me, when it comes to combat sports, pro wrestling, the two things that have hurt them the most in the last 30 years have been the steroid scandal and CTE.
Yep.
Trauma and steroids have been the two things.
That's what I was saying, yeah.
And now,
damn, I have some.
I still, if I was GCW, WWE, the UFC, if I wanted to really get myself out there, the first thing I would do is I would study the phenomena of American football. Because if you go look at the ratings for the last, I don't know how long since the NFL's been on for this past season, they've been just ruling the airwaves. I'd love to know what they're doing that others aren't or whatnot. And I know it's a sport, but basketball is not getting the share that football is. Baseball isn't. And I think it's driven a lot by them being on Twitter. I think it's driven a lot by personalities. It's who they're sleeping with is in the box. It's
that's I was going to go mainstream media. What the mainstream media wants to pick up and kind of sit there and promote and put out there. And football, as you said, all those things you just said were exactly like they got controlled violence where, hey, you're going to get some crazy hits at UNC, but you're not going to see all the unnecessary stuff that happens in football, broken legs, concussions, but that shit's still happening. We're not going to put it out there for people to see. So people are, do you ever be like, I've heard on like radios, like radio shows, when people are calling and watching a show, like I just watched a football and like within 30 minutes, there was 5 like injury breaks. And these fans that are brand new watching football, they're like, wait a minute, like all these injuries happen. Is this really unsafe and blah, blah, blah. And like, I don't know. I just, as you said, I think it's what wants to be promoted is out there, and what's they don't want to is what they're not going to, and that's what they can control. And I think wrestling, along with that combat sports, and as you said, like, or with the combat sports and what you said with CTE, the injuries and all the steroids, they want to move away from the negative, and they're not going to sit there and promote it. And wrestling, that's all that is CTE and steroids. They're not going to be promoted at all. They're not even on ESPN no more, man. I thought ESPN, them doing cool stuff with WWE before the shows and promoting their shit on the websites and stuff was awesome, because it was millions of fans getting WWE information, and maybe they might go check it out.
Yeah. Again, a bunch of great points there that I can't argue. Um, yeah, I feel like somehow wrestling is going to have to keep up with the time. There's something that's missing, and I don't know what that is. If it's a use of more light during the matches, or I don't know, but something has to be figured out. And I think more interactivity with fans really does work. Again, though, there's only one company that's really dominating. And when I go and watch like a WWE show, even though people go, "Oh, that's crap," I'm like, look how well done it is, though. They serve it up on such a beautiful platter. I see why it's easy to digest.
I think it's the
So
stories, man. Like I was like, as I
it
went back and
is.
watched
It
like a
is.
bunch of old shit. Like I was watching an old '99 Raw, and like just the fans, and like a match of, I think it was Val Venus and like X Pac. The fans are fucking losing their minds of what's going on, and it's a 5-minute match, but there's 50 billion things going on, and all of them are attached. There's one story, but they're all branching out and interacting with each other. I think it's the stories that had those 3 hours or 2 hours of Raw every night back then, of just the fans rabid, because there was every match, every person we saw, there was something to get interested in and get behind, and stories to follow along and root for or not root for. And I honestly think that's what's missing a lot in wrestling. I think that's why WWE is actually kind of doing a really good job with that stuff. And I know on indies they're going to say, and Brett's always said, it's so hard to do that because you never know week to week who's going to work and whatever situations happens. Yes, but you have regulars, we have stuff, and that's why we
Mhm.
ask for it. So I don't know, like that just goes to what we always complain about. Ultimately, is what I think is the big piece missing to get fans back into that rabid, holy shit, everybody loves wrestling, is the investment in the store to get them, because they NFL. And right now it's playoffs. You're all invested into playoff stories. We all want to see the Chiefs lose, so that way we're tired of Taylor Swift. And hey, I'll be awesome. Lamar Jackson, first Super Bowl. Brock Purdy, it's all stories, and that's what's getting all
Yeah.
these fans,
Yeah.
I think, to watch these games. And they're watching the games. They're not each play, oh, cool, long pass, like, hey, cool, moonsaults. But they're really worried about the struggle and what's happening during the game and the story that's happening. I think, honestly, that's what I think. And before I used to disagree with that, but now going back just specifically this weekend and watching these old WWEs and how rabid the fans were and what was going on, that's where I think wrestling's missing, kind of needs to go back to.
Mm, I yeah, I'm not going any deeper than that.
Sorry, I
I
rambled
won't.
there.
But no, you did not ramble. You gave your answer. I liked it. Um, I really do feel that there's just so many entertainment choices now too. You know,
That too. You
it's
could
weird.
get your 5-15 minutes of entertainment watching a TikTok, or sitting on watching a bunch of TikToks and watching a wrestling show that, hey, you don't care about until 3 hours in. You finally get your one piece that you invested in watching it, when you wasted all those 3 hours. I think, yeah, there's so much choices out there to dilute the product.
Okay, like I said, throw your eyes shut for about 3 seconds. It's 1995 for you. You're like, damn, I wish I can listen to insert whatever song there. Unless that shit comes on the radio, it's on MTV, or you own the album, after a little bit, you're not going to hear that song again. So, like, there's just no choice there. Now you can just dial that shit up on YouTube and listen to it like
Rewatch
nothing.
it again and
So,
again and again, like I do.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So, I mean, there's just so many choices now. It's hard also for anyone to sit down and just watch one screen anymore, I feel.
Don't even get me started on that one.
No, you got psychos like us that could watch 2, 3, 4 screens at one time, and yeah. Like
Booker
right
T
now,
with
I have
5.
my notes. My notes were on my tablet. My tablet almost died, so now my notes are on my phone, and then I've got a tablet to my left that I'm making sure Twitter's doing its thing, and then I'm watching you on this one right here. So it's just constant.
I have my notes
Constant.
on one, the show's on another, you up here. I got to promote the Arizona show right here behind us, Feel No Ways. Yeah, I got screens
Yeah.
everywhere too.
Yeah, man. It's fun though. But let's see. What do I want to mention that I will be recording and probably putting out the GCW Plant Podcast preview show later this week. So watch out for. Damn, it is tiring out here. Watch out for that. It will be out. I'm looking forward to doing it. Right now, I'm working on what music I want to put into it because we're dealing with Florida. I think both of these coming up are Florida, correct?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna be looking at doing some Florida-based music of some sort. So we'll see. I was really heartbroken. I didn't do last week's podcast, the one that had the with all the ones that went up and they were all screwed up. This one here, I had Los Macizos music queued up. It was going to open the preview show because that's when Miedo had just won the NGI. So
Yeah.
okay, let's do it, brother.
All right. We are yeah, this will probably be up Thursday. I'm hoping I'll get this out before Thursday. But yeah,
Alrighty.
another fun YouTube one live and a lot of chats today. I think we had up to 5 people at the same time. It showed up. So yeah, another increase in viewers, and it was fun. A lot of fun topics again, and
Not
fun
bad
night.
for a little live show.
Yes, fun night. All right, we are out of here. This is the end of episode 80, and we will be covering the GCW live show hopefully next week before we head over to LA and Phoenix. And yeah, that's what's next on our boat after this week. So thank you, everybody that joined in on the live. Thank you, everybody that is listening on the podcast. And we will catch you on the next episode, 81.
Wow, 81.
All right, here we go. What are the letters again? Okay. Long. Jesus.
Live not Jesus.
G.
Well, long live Jesus, but
Jesus. Yes, we
long
want Jesus.
live
G.
G
C.
C W
W.
W.